I should put like some elevator music on so it can be like, this is the money. What did they call those? The money, where the money where they're raising money.
Oh, fundraisers
on TV shows,
telethon.
Yeah, this is the monetization telethon presented to you by the Observant Lineman, Mark the Cyborg.
You can't send super chats yet.
I know.
How much you're pledging? No. You actually have to call us.
You have to actually call us.
Tell.
This is the monetization money telethon. Monetization telethon.
What up?
What's going on?
Give me just a few minutes, okay? Because I just hopped off one stream. Now I'm on another one. So give me just a few. I'll be right back.
Don't cross the streams.
Matter of fact, let me go grab a bottle of water real quick.
All right, I guess I'll do my best to entertain the stream.
Yeah,
hey, everybody.
Hold it down.
I'm Mark the Cyborg. I'm one of Uche's friends. I make gaming videos on Geeks and Gamers, as well as my own Mark the Cyborg channel. And I didn't really have a lot of prepared material, but I honestly didn't think I was going to be alone here. But I guess if you like video games,
I'm here for a few until he gets back. So
there you go.
So my name is Jeremy. It's my first time being on a live stream. It's an honor to be here with Mark the Cyborg because he makes great videos for Geeks and Gamers.
Oh, thanks.
No, you actually do, man. Your that Force Unleashed video is up to like 175,000 views, brother.
Oh, so, wow. I did 175.
Yeah, killing it. So
I'm trying to crack like 150 views on my Sekiro video.
But yeah, man. So it's really cool to have you guys on board. And
did the fucking Patriots lose?
Hell no, man. We got Tom motherfucking Brady. All right. Of course,
Patriots lose.
Ain't gonna lose, man. We right now it's 21-14 and New England's driving. It's 4th and 5 right now though. And Brady
interception.
Incomplete. So Giants are going to get the ball back with 9:28 to go. All right, I'm going to step away now. I was waiting for you to get back. I'll be back in just a few.
Cool. I guess though, if anyone has any interest in the game Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, I spent about 80 hours making a video on it this week, and I think it's really good. So give me some views on that one. By it has 150 views, I mean like literally 150, not 150,000.
Go check it again. I bet you it went up.
Yeah, possibly.
What's up, Jack? Jack. What? Tom Brady is the GOAT. Get the fuck out of here. He is a Billy goat, a cheating goat, cheating bastard, cheating Patriots. Welcome to the monetization telethon. We are here trying to get over this hump, this monetization hump. We are only, and I'm going to check the numbers in real time. Let's check them numbers in real time.
I've been doing my best to share around our Joker spoiler cast. I think that one went
people like
really
it,
well.
Man. It went really well. Let's see here. Where we at? We need 450 hours to gain monetization.
I think
the more numbers we got in here, the merrier. Spread the word. Actually, we are going for the money bag. Money bag. Let's do this.
Get over to your channel to find the stream myself.
Ain't no melee button to smash. I mean, I don't think I have super chats right now, right?
Well, the melee button's the excuse me. It's the like button. So I just hit it. So we're up to 6 likes and 15 watching. So we got
let me get over there and go hit this like button then.
Yeah, I think I did the math on that joke being the GameCube Super Smash Brothers game was called Super Smash Brothers Melee. So smash melee, smash
that like button.
Who doesn't know about Smash?
Well, no. I was saying the origin of the meme "smash the melee button." I was interpreted that as like an ode.
I mean, I don't see a like button.
The up vote button.
Yeah, just
the thumbs up button.
Yeah,
thumbs up, thumbs down.
I mean, I see 8 thumbs up, but I can't see where I can hit it.
It's your stream.
Yeah, it's your stream.
Oh yeah, it's kind of doofy.
Boomer,
like your own
boomer.
stream.
All right, let me pull
Go
up.
log into some alt accounts.
Shoot, I'm 450 hours away. We can do that in half of one stream.
I'm trying to. All right, I'm fixing to share this on Twitter.
It's the monetization telethon, the money bag telethon.
I'm trying to watch my Patriots.
Man, they ain't gonna do nothing but lose.
A lot of jealousy from somebody that lost to them in the playoffs.
Ooh. Jedi Bunny's coming in.
Oh,
She's gonna jump in with us.
oh, she gonna jump on the stream?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, let's see. All right.
Yeah, her stream was quite a bit of fun yesterday. I was just in the chat, but
she's the best. She's the best.
Very positive person.
She totally is. She totally is.
Well, hell, I thought you were gonna send me a link if well, I guess you didn't need me in there then, huh? Y'all probably full.
What's up? Oh, for that? No, it was just the flow of it was going good, and I eventually, because I was waiting for to see if he showed up in the chat or something. Junk 3PO showed up in the chat, so I brought him in for a little while.
RC from NYC say them Giants making those Pats work tonight.
No, they ain't, because the Pats just scored a touchdown, baby.
Man, let me see what the stat line looking like on this game. Them bums ain't winning. They ain't winning.
Let's see. They look like it. Is that a fumble or
it's a one-score game?
No, it's not. They just had a turnover, brother.
It's still a one-score game, though, right?
No, not now.
I'm looking at the game cast. It says 21-14.
Wait for it to update, bro.
Oh, Tom Brady don't even have a touchdown pass. That bum. That fucking bum.
Oh, yeah.
Goat my ass. You can't throw a touchdown against the New York Giants?
He's 42 years old, and he's a bum. Yeah,
he's a bum. Cheater. He deflated more balls than anybody. How many balls did he deflate?
That's a touchdown. He deflated your balls when he beat you all in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, they cheated. They had microphones in our fucking locker room at halftime. So our headsets went out after halftime. Those bastards.
All right, so they're under. It's under. No, it looks like they put it down on the 1.
Oh, fumble!
Yeah. No, for the Giants, not for the Patriots. That's a touchdown.
Oh, hold on. The Giants got it on the 1.
No, the Patriots have it on the Giants 1.
Wow.
Wishful thinking on your part, my friend. Wishful thinking. What's up, RC from NYC? Got to meet you. Got to hang out, man. Good to meet you. It was awesome. Getting to know you, man. Appreciate all the support. So what's the topic here? Money time. So when are you releasing your Fandom Menace Origins video?
Tonight.
Apparently tonight, yeah.
That's to celebrate.
On your channel or on Geeks and Gamers? On your channel?
Geeks and Gamers, man, of course. There she is.
Oh. Candace, what's up?
Get monetized already. What the heck, man?
It's it ain't already. It's about time.
Oh, you were talking geeky. You weren't talking about Jedi Bunny. You meant Geeky Candy then, right?
Oh yeah, Geeky Candy.
Yeah, I was like, if Kelly was going to be on there, I would have heard because I talk to Kelly all the time. So, great to talk to you, Candace. It's about time.
Yeah, you too.
I loved your video, your little video that you did for your channel.
Thanks.
So I commented on it. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. But you've been just an amazing addition to the Fandom Menace. So, as I've told you on Twitter, so it's nice to talk to you.
You guys are awesome too. So y'all are amplifying the reach and getting it out there. I love it. So
pleasure to have you on. So,
I mean, I guess we could talk some Star Wars for sure. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck Ryan Johnson. Can I say that?
Well, we could talk about the Fandom Menace.
We can talk about Freddie Prinze Jr.'s rant about Star Wars fans. Have you heard about that?
God. Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't see that. I didn't look at the video yet. What was going on with that?
He went on an F-bomb tirade, complaining about Star Wars fans and how this is he literally his words were, "It's a movie for fucking kids."
No, it's not.
It's not a movie for kids.
That's ridiculous. Oh,
He gets to
his
be
show.
married to Buffy.
Does that make you not like his show as much? Because it kind of
Ask him when the last time he's been in a movie. That's what
Yeah, I heard that. No, I mean, I still like him as Kanan. I mean, he and I actually had a Twitter back and forth last year. I can't even remember what the deal was now, but we went back and forth about The Last Jedi and Star Wars fans, and I did a video of it on my channel. But Star Wars Theory has a great video on it, so if you guys want to check that out, and then I'm going to do a video on it too. But yeah, he just went on a rant about Star Wars fans, man. It's ridiculous. So.
Dude, I used to watch, I still watch Star Wars Theory, but I don't know, his videos, you know, I mean, I liked it when I didn't know what he looked like.
Yeah.
Now that I see him, I'm like, nah.
Well, I know Theory. I knew what Theory looked like before anybody did. You know, I mean, I talk to him on a regular basis, so Theory's a good guy.
Cool. He's cool. Like for real, he's got a good voice when he's narrating his little what if.
There's a mystery element to it, you know.
Yeah, that mystery element. Like it's like have you seen what is the prank calling guy? What's his name?
The show Crank Yankers?
No. On YouTube, this guy has like 4 million.
Oh, is that guy that like the marketers that call him or whatever, and he like
no. Let me see. Ownage pranks.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, please look up his pranks. He is the most elaborate prank caller on earth, and he has like 10 different voices that he uses. So he'll call like people will send in. People will call him like. Girlfriends, husbands, boyfriends will hit him up, send him emails, and have him set up pranks on their like spouse or significant other. And dude, I mean, there's one classic one. It's called it's like a ransom. He calls like people in the UK because he's in Canada. So he'll call people in the UK. There's one where he does a ransom on a dude, and he calls this Indian dude. He named himself Rakesh, and he had stage 1 and stage 2, and if they like start talking shit to him during the prank call, he'll be like, all right, it looks like we're going to stage 2. And then you hear like this horror music in the background. Young.
Can the people on the call hear that?
No, they can't hear it. It's all after the fact. But dude, he had this one guy so messed up. This dude left his job at the bank, started racing home because he thought that Rakesh was in the house with his girlfriend, calling from his girlfriend's phone. I mean, it was getting serious. He said, I told you you're not going to like stage 2. Now it's stage 2. Don't want to do stage 3 is about to.
That reminds me, did you see my car video or cab video with Cecil? Did you see that new
the one where he's got the dick hat on?
Yeah, and then when the cab driver.
Yeah.
Yes. Clap, video. Dude, Mark, your camera is ridiculously good. What kind of camera?
It's a Canon.
What are they paying you at
80D.
Geeks and Gamers, man? What the hell?
Very, very little.
Are you using it?
But no, like I used to do movies and stuff. Like I actually have a degree in film, as useless as that is. But I don't know. I learned how to focus a camera, I suppose.
You got a DSLR?
Yeah.
Hold up, I got one right here. How the heck do I use it in my streams without the screen?
I was about to say, I was like, connecting it to the computer would be job 1.
Fuck you. Yeah, I do. I have one. I have it connected up. I had it. I like use it on my video.
So it's a Nikon, by the look of it.
No, this is a Canon. It's a Canon.
Okay. Then the program that I use is called Sparko Cam, SPARKO, and then Cam, and you can get it either with a big watermark across the front of it for free, or just pay
I'm gonna
for
go ahead
the
and
drivers.
download that torrent file and get it for free.
Hell, I mean, I pay for it. I'm one of those crazy. I don't pirate anything people. It's why I take a loss on most of my videos, because even though I have cutaway gags, I like, if I don't own the movie or the show, I'll either rent or buy the movie or the show, so that sometimes for like 2 seconds of the video.
Shitting me.
And then if I don't get a high quality clip though, I will watch that video over and over again and just be like, oh, that shot looks like shit. Look, it actually bothers me. But
well, here's my question though: does your camera cut off after a certain amount of time? Because I was using
but I haven't figured out how to get a constant power stream to it. Anytime my camera did cut off in the first stream that I was doing with you, it was actually just my battery dying. I've got 3 batteries, and there's always one on the charger when the other's ready to go. But if at any point I look like I just like freeze up, I mime. It's just because my battery on my camera's dying. And
so you got the same problem I got when I try to get on it.
I also don't have autofocus on it either, though. So if I move too far back, I'm going to start getting very blurry, and then I have to do that thing where I zoom it in and refocus it. So it's more work, and you also got to like think more about your lighting setup. But I don't know. Yeah.
So what else did what's his name say? The guy from is it 10 Things I Hate About You?
Yeah.
No, She's All That was.
She's All That.
Oh, She's All That. Okay, yeah.
I was wondering what are you talking about?
There's a clip of She's All That in my review of Dusk. I have the clip of Rachel Lee Cook walking down the stairs in it, and I had to buy She's All That.
He's just mad because they won't cast him in a Star Wars movie.
Pretty much. Let's see. Hang on. I'm about to upload Lethal Lightning's video to Geeks and Gamers.
Well, say that, and I guess my reply to like Freddie Prinz's thing, the idea though that if something is made for kids, that means it's allowed to be like low quality or poorly written or not good is something like that's a theory that I don't subscribe to at all. Like otherwise, movies like WALL-E just wouldn't exist. Like. I mean, things can be for kids, but also really high quality and good.
Oh, yeah.
So
course.
Anytime anyone says, like, you guys are getting mad about a kid's movie, it'd be like, okay, let's say
I don't understand.
Why can't it be good?
I don't understand how people say Star Wars is for kids. I mean, these are adults.
He just eliminated like the majority of the audience that actually watches it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids aren't watching Star Wars these days. That's the whole problem.
And if you look at movies like Harry Potter, that they started out as legitimate kids movies, but they did the smart thing of having the movies get more mature as the audience grows. Right. And the kids who saw Star Wars when they were kids are in their 40s and 50s now. Like,
and they have kids that aren't watching the new Star Wars.
I was born the year after Return of the Jedi came out, and when someone says, "Hey, do you remember the first time you saw Star Wars?" my honest answer is no. I was too young. I was probably like 2 years old when my parents would be like throwing Star Wars on for me to like play around in front of the TV and watch. It's just been part of my life forever. So I was a kid, sure. I liked those movies then. I still like the original trilogy, and I have a soft spot for the prequels now. But
I love the prequels. The prequels actually, like, I liked Star Wars, but I didn't become like a true Star Wars fan until I actually sat down and watched all of the prequels, and then watched all of the original trilogy right behind it.
Chronological order.
I was like, it's fucking beautiful. Beautiful.
It did tee it up real nice. That's for sure. Yeah.
It did.
Quarter Black Garrett just tweeted, Twitter is a mobile game. Oh my God. I'm retweeting that right now. This is so accurate. God, I hate Twitter so bad. I really do.
Like, I feel like with the prequels, I feel like Revenge of the Sith. I feel like it sits right up there with Empire Strikes Back. I really do.
My 4-year-old says his favorites are Revenge of the Sith and Empire Strikes Back. So I think he's just a little dark kid. He watched all of Revenge of the Sith except for the very end scene in Mustafar, because that got a little weird for a 4-year-old in terms of like.
I got
2.5-year-old nephew, so I'm taking notes right now. I was like, okay, so it's 4. 4 is the age I can start showing him stuff.
My kid loves all. I mean, he's seen all the PG Harry Potters too, so he's like loves them. But he doesn't like if you were to ask him what's his favorite thing, he says the battle at Hoth, and he is 4. And
he's a man of culture.
That he loves the AT-ATs and the AT-ATs.
Kid's gonna go places.
AT-ATs.
Love it. I love it.
I used to collect Star Wars toys like when I was a really little kid, and my parents and I it was like early 90s, so well before the prequels were happening or even the special editions. Like I was probably like 6, maybe 5 even. And we would go to garage sales just around like the Toronto area. That's where I grew up. And I don't remember the first time I saw Star Wars. I will remember the first time I scored an AT-AT though. It was at my school that I was a kindergarten student at. And it was in one of the like preschool playrooms. It was like an actual just like AT-AT toy that didn't have the cover over the cockpit. And my parents basically just said like to the teacher that ran that class, like, hey, what do you want for that? Like, can we donate like a bunch of books or something, like anything you want to, like, my son probably wants that AT-AT more than he's wanted anything for his entire life.
And they are super expensive, like, because they don't make them anymore. And the ones they do make are the really like off-brandish Star Wars. And yeah, like getting a legit AT-AT, it's so expensive now.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, dude, he's Wampas all over. He loves Wampas too. So like he has the legit Wampa rug and everything. And I'm like, you can have that. But like the AT-AT, it was like twice as much as the rug was. So I was like, yeah, sorry, not this time.
Well, I think now the price on the original trilogy toys and stuff, you know, who would know the most about this would be Jeff from World Class Bullshitters. His toy knowledge is good because I used to know a lot about Star Wars toys, but that anytime I see one of his like videos on toys, I was like, wow, this guy makes me look silly. But the original trilogy though, between like 1989 and like 1996, there wasn't really a huge demand for Star Wars toys unless they were in like mint condition. So if you had things like in packages, obviously, or like perfect condition, then they could score a price. But otherwise, like you could find an X-Wing at just a garage sale or a toy show and pay like $10 for one. And like an original trilogy, like released in 1979 X-Wing, and no one really cared about them back then. But times have changed. Now no one cares about the new toys.
Exactly. And
my
the old stuff is the super expensive. Can't get. I mean, it's you think that they would get it by now, but like they're missing the mad coin on that merch, but that's okay.
the only sequel trilogy item that I have is
Roast Tico, obviously.
the Kylo Ren. I got the Kylo Ren lightsaber.
Okay.
Kylo Ren lightsaber was the only thing I wanted, and I went and got that.
Well, I bought a lot of stuff before The Force Awakens and then after The Force Awakens, and you know, because I was a big fan of the movie, and I remember when Force Friday rolled around before The Last Jedi, I was all hyped, you know, because that's when the first Force Friday before The Force Awakens, I went and bought a lot of stuff. And that Force Friday before The Last Jedi, I remember going, I didn't buy it. All I bought was a Black Series Luke Skywalker, I think, and like something else. It was just like two things. Like I didn't want anything else because I'm just like, nothing's interesting me for some reason. And it was weird because I wasn't at the point where I was hating on Lucasfilm at that point. I was still very much excited for the movie, but I didn't have that same kind of anticipation once I started seeing the toys come out for The Last Jedi and the characters. It's like, I don't want Rose. I don't want this stupid Rey figure because it's not evolved. Like I saw myself losing interest at that point, even though I hadn't accepted everything that was going on. But I definitely didn't buy anything after The Last Jedi. That's for damn.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping they'd release a Rose Tico in a Black Series to potato sack outfit. Like that's a stunning costume design right there.
I never really it's just not interesting. There's no characters that are interesting. Like if Kylo Ren never took off his helmet, he would be as interesting as Darth Vader. Probably.
Yeah, there'd be intrigue.
Yep.
Because Darth Vader was what drew me to Star Wars initially. Like I still have like some weird obsession with Darth Vader. Like I've researched everything about Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, how he felt in the suit, through the novelizations, everything. I've read about all of his stuff. But with the sequel trilogy, like it was Kylo Ren, and then he took off his helmet, and then he kept it off in The Last Jedi, and I was like,
Well, and with Rey hitting his face at the end of Force Awakens, I don't remember whose idea this was. This is
Me.
probably it was you?
Mm-hmm. Well,
That
if I think what you're about to say, yeah.
That if they weren't as clear about showing how he was struck by the lightsaber and just it was clear that his face was hit and then he just never took it off in all of Last Jedi, that would have actually created some mystery.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
what I said was because I, as a person that liked Force Awakens and found Kylo Ren to be extremely fascinating, my big problem with that was that they took his mask off because you did lose something with Kylo when he took his mask off. And I'm not saying like that's not take a shot at Adam Driver or whatever. We didn't need to see his face. No. And so when we saw his face, I was like, okay, there's one way that they could have corrected that. And maybe used it for storytelling, and that is at the end, if when Rey slashed him across his face, we the audience should have never seen his face after they alluded to the fact that she did damage to his face. Yeah. And then the next time we see him in the follow-up, The Last Jedi, he should have his mask on, and it should be alluded to the fact that he is very angry and disfigured after what Rey did to him. Yeah. And that is going to create such mystery within the audience. We're like, holy shit, what does he look like? And then you feel his rage, this anger he would have towards Rey, and there would be a reason for that because she's disfigured him. And that would have been amazing. But, of course, that takes actual planning and creativity and storytelling is something none of them know what to do.
And they humanized him too early on, which was, to me, the issue with Darth Vader is that he felt not human. And so there was a different level of fear and of, intrigue with him. And the minute that he took that off, it just, I mean, and like, I actually like Adam Driver. I thought, in Girls or whatever, I think he's a good actor. And I think that like, if the writing was done a little different, where it didn't make him seem kind of like a raging person sometimes with his little mini rants kind of thing. I feel like he could have done a lot better, and I think that he could have had a better show of it all. But yeah, the helmet was a big issue for me too. And I can understand what some critics would say if I was to play, devil's advocate. There were a lot of other similarities between that and the original. The storylines, instead of a junk collector from Jakku, you had a farm boy from Tatooine, and it's just like there's a lot of
desert planets. How many desert planets are there in Star Wars?
Right.
We might see 3 in Rise of Skywalker.
Perhaps that was a creative decision to be like, okay, yeah, we can't really do the same thing twice there, but they did it everywhere else. So I don't know.
and then also, like, they shouldn't have revealed that he was. I mean, because obviously they kind of took from the original trilogy with Force Awakens. They should have never revealed that he was Ben Solo. They should have just held that until The Last Jedi. Don't reveal who he is. Han and Leia treat him in the same way that Obi-Wan treated Vader, post his turning to the dark side. So you don't refer to him as Ben Solo. You just refer to him as Ren or Kylo Ren. You don't give him his actual name. So you can just keep that aura of mystery, like you said, Candace. Like he doesn't seem human until you find out later that he's Ben Solo.
That would have been so much better. It would have been so much better. The complexity of it all. Ugh.
It's so frustrating.
And you would have sensed that kind of regret, that kind of sense of failure from Leia and Han about him, but they still keep his true identity away from people who don't know the situation. Right. And the only other person who would have known would have been Luke. And Mark, I mean, this kind of goes into how we rewrote the entire Last Jedi. We rewrote everything.
Oh, it was Force Awakens. We started all the way back from 7.
We started over, and it was freaking amazing. I wrote down notes. I was like, man, we might be able to make a move Star Wars movie one day.
We need $4 billion and a good lawyer.
Yeah.
Patriots did score again, 35-14. What up? What up?
Who cares?
Beautiful.
Who cares? They're playing against a 2-3 team.
You know what? It's always an excuse. I saw somebody, Max Kellerman, making excuses
against a rookie quarterback.
Right. So let me see if I can find this comment.
Tom Brady still hasn't thrown a touchdown pass.
So here's what somebody said. because they were talking about Max was whining, just like people like you whine and go, "Oh, it's free. They play the AFC East." So then they listed.
They do
Brady's,
though. That's real.
Listen to me. They listed Brady's record career against every division in the NFL, and guess what? It was as same as it is against the AFC East. He kills everybody. He kills everybody.
Plays those teams once a year, once every 4 years,
And
then he only plays them maybe once in the playoffs or once in the Super Bowl.
And you know what happened the year Brady wasn't on the Patriots? They couldn't even make the playoffs.
They won 11 games. What are you talking about?
Didn't make the playoffs
because the division was actually strong that year.
No, it's because they lost to their division rivals because Brady wasn't there. Because Brady wasn't there.
They won 11 games. Any team that wins 11 games in the NFL, 90% of the time is in the playoffs. Period.
You know what happens? You know what happens when you drop off 7 games from the previous year? You're not very good.
Man, come on. That was a fluke year that they won those games in 2007. Please.
9 Super Bowls is a fluke year?
No, I didn't say 9 Super Bowls. I said the game, the fact that they won 16 games was a fluke.
All right, we're not on turn to sports. We lose viewers every time I argue sports. So
fuck the Patriots.
I'm Canadian. We like hockey.
This is what I had to deal with when we went to Purdue University. This loud mouth.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit right here. Man, they were cheaters. Don't you ever?
I refuse to talk about anybody except my Cowboys, though. I hate them, and
I played for the Cowboys, and I can tell you right now, from somebody who's from Dallas, I'm born and raised from Dallas.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm aware of who you are. I'm born and raised in Dallas too.
Okay.
Can you not tell by my voice? Like
I don't know what it's like to be a Texan. You know
I visited Austin in July.
When you were Texan, nobody can say you were Texan unless you're from Texas.
Well, I did my intro video in a Dallas Cowboys jersey.
Yeah, she did.
I love them, and I can't help it.
Yep.
I gotta say, I grew up a 49ers fan. Steve Young is my favorite player of all time. But I did play part of 1 year with the Cowboys, and I fucking hated it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect
it wasn't the best year, right?
It was my last year. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to hate the Cowboys like that. I was like, what a bunch of not the players, the team, the players, awesome. I like them. Like Tyrone Smith, all them cats. We were all cool. The organization, not first class. Not.
Yeah.
They're arrogant as hell. Arrogant. Jason Garrett, arrogant. And he's like puppet. He's like the puppet. Jerry's the puppeteer.
Yeah.
Jerry got his hand all the way up that ass. But I just didn't like that they made a big deal out of being a Cowboy. And I was just like, look, I come from a team that is in a small market in Jacksonville where nobody gives a damn unless we've won 6 in a row. And I can tell you, you guys we've won more playoff games in Jacksonville in the last 20 years than you guys have, or in the last 7 years than you guys have in the last 25 years.
Yeah, so, I know. It's the, Buffalo Bills, man. That
bring
was
it down. Bring it down a little bit. Y'all ain't all that.
I'm the type of person.
They call it the cardiac Cowboys, and I get it. But man, now that Witten's back, I would do anything to see him have a ring. He is a stand-up guy, at least to me. I kind of have some insight on him, so I think he and his family
I played with him and Romo. I'm actually cool with Romo's cousin.
Okay.
But Romo was a douche. And
I don't have his jersey.
Yeah, Romo was a douche. Like nobody, the players didn't even really like Romo.
I like Dak though. He's
I do like Dak. The players had a lot of respect for Jason Witten. They did. He was one of those guys who walked it like he talked it.
As long as he doesn't Troy Aikman himself, that's all I gotta say. Like it's I'm gonna come back.
But Troy Aikman, they act like they forgot about Troy Aikman in Dallas. Like Troy Aikman is the only reason why you can really talk about Dallas the way that they do every year. Him, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and then that defense they had, which was like number one every year.
2 months ago, I was fangirling. I was sitting right next to Troy Aikman at his favorite. He in South Lake. That's where I used to live. Yeah. So that's why I know Jason and Troy eats there a lot. Anyway, we were sitting right next to him trying to take like all these Instagram photos. Like, You right behind me.
Hey, like,
Yes,
hey, we're over here eating. It's me, Troy. And
he is so tall in real life. Holy cow.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
like
believe it. Like, he had
6'5".
a duck in the men's room. This is insane. Anyway, sorry.
I was actually going to take a selfie at the Patriots game. I was sitting in nosebleeds. I was going to take a selfie with Brady on the field and go, hanging out with Tom. Just,
Put your arm up over it. Hey!
No, the guy that took me though, because he was really big into like meeting a lot of the people at Comic-Con and all that. And he says, "Do you want to meet?" Because I kept telling him like, I don't care to meet any of these fucking people. Like, I don't care about. So, and he's like, "What about Brady?" I was like, if I met Brady, I tell you, I would just shake his hand and say, "Dude, respect you, you're the best." You know, I don't care about like,
don't geek out.
Like, yeah, I don't care. I've never been one to get starstruck. Like somebody asked me, like, is there anybody that would really truly starstrike you? I'm like, if Michael Jackson was still around, like,
hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Like that would probably be the only real person that would get me starstruck. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I met Brady. You know, it was cool to meet him when we played him. When I played them like what 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times, and it was cool meeting them. I mean, but it's different on the field. When you're on the field, you say what's up, you shake hands, dap up, and you keep it moving. But everybody's cool with each other on the field. Nobody really has any personal issue with other players on the field. I mean, you're just out there playing, doing your job, trying to ball out. But yeah, I mean, I had college teammates that were on the Patriots that I played against. So I while I did hate the Patriots, I did have respect for them as well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would be amazing to meet Michael Jordan, but I've heard he's such a dickhead.
He is a dick. I've heard stories about legendary stories about him.
Don't tell me anything about Wayne Gretzky.
Ryan, are you here? Is Ryan in the back?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
He's backstage. Yeah. Stay back there. All right, guys. So we're talking.
Muscles.
What's going on?
What up, man?
That teammate on the Patriots. Uche, that teammate on the Patriots, that wouldn't be the legendary Rob Ninkovich, would it?
Legendary?
Well, I mean, that to me is legendary. I think he's a Boiler legend, an NFL legend.
Oh, Boiler legend.
That was the best response.
No, Ninkovich is cool, man. He's a cool cat. He was cool at Purdue. I mean, we were at Purdue together. Quiet dude, but not quiet. He didn't talk a lot of trash. He didn't talk a lot. He wasn't rah-rahing or nothing, but we would all, when we'd go out, we'd all act up. So he was just one of the guys. But
I heard some good stories about Kyle Orton at parties.
Speaking of
my God.
Speaking of Purdue, what are your thoughts about this whole the new legislation they're trying to pass about getting college players basketball? I think it's for basketball though, paid.
In California.
In California, what they're doing is.
I think that it.
Well, I think it's long overdue, to be honest. And it's not like they're getting paid for playing football. They're not getting paid to play football. They have the ability to make money off of their likeness. Yeah. To be able to get an endorsement with the car dealership, or
to have a YouTube channel.
Gaming.
Yeah, a YouTube channel. They can go sign autographs and make money off of that. Like, their likeness. Like, why would they not be allowed to do that? And who else pisses me off? Because he had the most SJW idiotic response I've ever seen to this entire legislation getting passed. Guess who? Jeremy.
Who?
Oh, you know who?
Collider's John Campia?
No. He knows who. He knows who. Only person that can trigger me. Say it.
Trump?
Tebow!
I'm messing with you, I know.
Tebow! Tebow was like, it was my honor. It was my honor to go and sign autographs. It was my honor to be in commercials and not get paid. It was my honor. I'm like, motherfucker, you a dummy. You get paid. He gets paid $10,000 to go speak at churches minimum. And he wants to talk about these guys shouldn't get paid. I'm like,
he did need a mentor to get through college. So, I mean.
Man, look, man.
He ain't no genius.
Don't believe the hype about Tim Tebow, because I already know about some of the shit that he was involved in when he was in college. I've been knowing about that, and so do other players. So all that he's holier than thou, virgin type shit, nah. He wasn't doing none of that. Leak what?
Leak the info. Come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he's gay or nothing. I'm just saying that
No.
he
Save
wasn't
it
no.
for geeks and gamers. No, just kidding. Sorry, Jared, just
I like
looking out. All
I
right.
like Andy even more. She's got that forward thinking vision. Really
Marketing and business degree.
Oh.
I'm a stay-at-home wife, but
okay.
hey.
Okay. I see
Andy,
you.
we talked a little bit, on Twitter about it. But so, how did you get involved? If I can ask her this question, Uche, but how did you kind of get involved with the Fandom Menace and Geeks and Gamers? Kind of tell us about that.
Honestly, it started. So I was on Gary's. I was lurking in Gary's channels like around Orville times and stuff, but it wasn't like I wasn't on YouTube for most of my entertainment value at that point. I just did it like I don't know, randomly here and there, just because I had an interest of Orville and I liked to watch stuff regarding it. And then Game of Thrones rolled around. And I just wanted to scream and yell and anyone who would listen, and it usually is my husband, and he's like, I really don't care that much about these. Like, he doesn't get into the nitty gritty details of things. And like, I'm the kind of person in movie theater where like, oh my God, that's the guy in what movie is it? He's like, shut up, Candace. And I'm like, okay, sorry. I get really into it. And so yeah, he's really supportive of me having an outlet other than him when it comes to all things, I guess, fiction, science fiction especially. I love science fiction. I read all of the Expanse books. I follow that series very closely. Looking forward again to the Orville coming up. Tom Constantino follows me now. Hey, I'm excited. And a couple of the Expanse, and I've only been on Twitter for like 3 weeks, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm trying my best to keep up. And so it kind of exponentially.
And I've already sent haters your way when I retweeted you. You probably are. I sent haters your way. So.
Yeah, get used to it, Candace.
The first person that got me blocked, like from people, and
he got me blocked.
Rite of
too.
passage.
I was
I'll take it. Whatever.
Uche is doing his best to get him damn self blocked by everybody in that Ellen George Bush thread.
Oh my God! I was under assault for like 5 hours.
What the hell? I thought blue check marks are supposed to be the ones doing the assaulting.
You were calling me a blue check mark douchebag. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
Hey, man, this poor blue check mark in the thread. It's got no likes on any single of his comments. So I just go through like.
Wait, you got it back, right?
Yeah,
you got it back.
Now.
Hey, Mary, you want to join us? I have to send her a link. If somebody can send her a link.
I got it.
Okay,
all right.
cool.
I don't know.
Is that all right?
Yeah, she's in the chat, so I don't know if she's available, but
I'll send it her way. See if she can come on.
So let's talk about that for a quick second. Boy, let me tell you, I went on there, and this is what I was telling people. Because, I just, look, man, I'm tired. I'm tired of these, like you saw what Mark Ruffalo said, right? I'm like, dude, man, take your weekend. If you didn't play Hulk, nobody give a fuck about you, Mark Ruffalo. You don't even act in any good movies outside of Hulk, and they don't even give you but 5 minutes a movie. Shoot.
Mark
Ruffalo is CGI'd all the time. That's all I'm going to say about that. He's not a solid actor.
He's nuts on Twitter, man. He's
a good actor. Yes, I do think he's a good actor. But
yeah,
I mean, like I said, when I got on there, my thing was to people. This was the first thing I said. I said, look. First, I said, go away. To the one-to-one girl, I just said, go away in capital letters. And then, doom. So I was like, okay, Uche, leave it alone. It's Twitter. You can't win. You can't win this. Fuck that shit. Let's go. You grab my phone. I was like, I'm about to go to the store in a minute. I was sitting here in front of my computer just tapping away for the next 3 hours. And, my thing was, look, at the end of the day, the world is and has always been this way, like in how people who are up here in the elite level of society, they all hang out together. It never changes. It don't matter what side of the aisle they're on. They always hang out together, and they all do things, and it's all for a means to an end. They're all trying to find ways to get richer and to make more power moves amongst each other. To the public, they look like they have different ideologies. And yeah, Ellen and George Bush.
Barry's backstage.
Oh, gotcha.
And hit the like button, or everyone hit the like button. It's only like what 14 likes and 53 people.
Yeah,
Come on, y'all.
smash that melee button.
Hi, Candace, how are you?
Hey, welcome to the broadcast. This is the Money Bag Telethon.
Like a lady takeover, guys.
Heck yeah.
Hey, the more the merrier.
Ladies.
You already know.
Look at all this diversity. We've got 2 toxic males. We've got a disabled male. We got a black male, and we got 2 toxic females. Look at that panel.
All that
toxic.
We've been
Why are the disabled and the black one not toxic?
Well, I mean,
that would be big
possible. It would be racist if he calls us toxic.
FJW's mind. They wouldn't be able to contemplate that. That's like.
Yeah, I mean,
if we're gonna get technical, also my disabled part is black.
So would you also is that how that works?
And technically, I'm African. We actually take offense to being categorized as black.
Oh, I'm not African, but my leg is black.
Wait, so when you go to the damn DMV, what happens when they ask you to check something?
I say African American.
You just say I'm a quarter black and then call it.
I'm 15% black.
Honestly, if they phrased it, "What color are you?" I'd be like, "Which part?"
The majority.
If they said what's your ethnicity, I'd be like, I'm I don't know, Italian, like half Maltese, I guess. I don't know, but that's a country no one cares about. But
that's a dog.
Ultimately, though, I'm like 3rd generation Canadian, so like, I mean,
yeah, well,
I really consider myself Canadian. I don't have an Italian flag tattoo. I do have a maple leaf, but like,
yeah, put that maple leaf up. Nobody cares about it.
Yeah, well, I do.
Oh man, this is good. So how did the candy corn stream end, Mary? Were you and Ryan on it both when it ended, or?
Look, these guys don't have any facts to stand on, just quippy one-liners. And at the end of the day, if people want to be led by quippy one-liners, then that's fine. And look, you're welcome to not enjoy candy corn. I completely and utterly support your right to be wrong, and that's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, facts don't care about your feelings.
Well, quippy one-liners and shutting down the opposition is how President Trump got elected. So I think we won that battle. We may not have won. We may not have won the popular vote, but we won the Electoral College. So suck it.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, let's talk about that Electoral College.
I do believe the Twitter poll that Jeremy posted earlier refutes what you just said.
No, it actually does not refute, because I just said you won the popular vote, but we won the Electoral College. So listen.
You didn't win anything. Like 30, like not even 30 people in the chat were like, yeah, I like candy corn. But there's like 15 of them.
Yeah, there was only 25 people in chat. So
how many of them were from Middle America, though?
The Midwest, the armpit of America.
Yeah, I looked up the states that had the highest, that said candy corn was the highest selling in those states, and it was Alabama, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, Nebraska.
Offended.
Roll Tide right there. Got the
I make fun of Idaho. I like potatoes.
Whoa.
French fries are good, man.
Candy corn, I actually do like candy corn. I'm not gonna front.
What the hell is wrong with you?
It's not the first thing I go for in the Halloween bag, but I'm not going to let it go to waste. I don't discriminate against sugar.
Yeah, see, that's what I do about Reese
Then
Cups.
I say, okay, I like you too. Don't be serious.
I usually, if I see a bag of candy corn, I'll probably grab that first. I'm not gonna lie.
Over Reese Cups?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's madness. I'm not really a sweets guy, but like I could crush some Reese Cups. They're good. Peanut butter is amazing.
Do you call them Reese Cups up
What
in
do you call them?
Canada? Reese's or Reese's?
Really?
Or Reese's.
Reese's.
Yeah.
Well, no.
It's either Reese's or Reese's.
No,
not Reese.
Soda or pop?
No, Reese is. Oh, hold up. Reese is the name. The Reese's is the pieces, but that's
Coke
that's
or
what
soda?
possessive. It's Reese's.
Conversation's going on right now.
There's an apostrophe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are multiple of them. So it is one in its singular form would be a Reese. And
Damn,
then
I like how that sounds.
2 would be Reese's, but because they become in packages of 2, you get Reese's.
That is
Whoa,
technically
what?
correct.
It's a name though. Like,
That in English?
no, it's like a proper name. It's like saying, I don't know, like
because you don't get
Jeremy's
just
peanut butter
one.
cups. He's not Jeremy's if there's more than one of them. He's just
Jeremy's cups.
like they're cups that belong to Reese.
I think someone should tweet
or
the
his
company
resspe
and ask
or
them.
hers. I don't know. I'm not sure if Reese.
You've ever said a Reese peanut butter cup?
No,
I say Reese's peanut
Reese
butter.
No,
peanut
it's
butter
Reese
cup
the-
or
Reese.
Reese's possessive like
No, there's
apostrophe.
no such
S
thing as
peanut butter
Reese's
cup.
peanut butter cup. There's no such thing.
Let's fucking end this argument. God, I'm so tired of arguing about damn candy. Why can't we just go back to complaining about The Last Jedi like we've been doing for 2 years?
Okay, I'll link it to movies. Have you seen the film Terminator?
Where were you?
The hero in Terminator is Kyle.
Reese.
Thank you.
How do you spell that?
Actually, I'd have to look it up to be honest. If it's
Yeah.
not the same as the peanut
Look
butter
it
cups,
up.
I win though.
Look it up.
All this talk about Reese's is actually wanting me to eat. I want to eat some Reese's now. That's
Yeah,
why
they
Yeah,
are
I'm
good.
like I'm down for chocolate at the moment now.
are
Yeah,
they
I
so
can have some
great?
in the other room.
Like
I don't have
Reese's.
any in here. You can have some candy corn.
I wish I had some.
Oh, my
Whoa, okay.
God.
Michael
Candy
Biehn in the film Terminator plays Kyle Reese, spelt Reese.
We ain't talking about alternate
Reese's.
timelines, mofo. We talking
No,
about
Reese's.
Michael
Yeah.
Biehn in the film
Reese's.
The Terminator from 1984.
Oh man.
Reese. If you add an S to that, it's Reese's.
There's a thing you guys must understand about me. I only argue when I'm right. So you notice I don't argue very often.
Invited
It's
the
because I
Canadian.
don't have a strong opinion. But if I am, I've either got something wrong somewhere along the line, and I need to discover that, or I'm 100% certain I'm correct. Otherwise, I'm just like, yeah, you're probably right.
That's good stuff.
Are you married? I'm just curious.
No, I'm not.
Okay, because that's a really good thing if you're for future. That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, only argue when you're right, which is never.
Never.
I live in a military town. The ratio here is not good. I mean, it's great if you're a. I was gonna say if you're a woman or gay, but honestly, if you're gay, I don't think it's fantastic either. There's not a huge gay population here. Fantastic if you're a lesbian.
Wow, so Canada does suck.
Or bisexual.
No. Like a very, very small military town in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, you're in a
So,
military
like-
town in
Yeah.
Canada.
I love how they forget we exist. Like they forget bisexuals exist. We're a thing, right? So you can
Well, okay, yeah. I mean,
Listen,
It's
LGBT.
You're third, so it's good. You're there. You're there.
I mean, y'all ain't been to Atlanta. That's where all the bisexual women are.
I live in Kentucky, so
Welcome to Atlanta,
Not
where
far
the
away.
players play, and we ride
Kinda think
everything
about,
like
like-
every day.
I mean, in Toronto, there's plenty of people of all like sexual orientation stripes, but in my town, I actually don't even. I never really heard anyone say that they're bisexual. I'm probably.
That's usually the first thing I ask anyone when I meet them is, "What's your sexual orientation?" But
So what do I call you? What's your pronoun?
Pronouns, yeah. That's literally not normal thinking or normal discussions.
You know, I've never run into anybody who's ever been like, excuse me. No. And this is Atlanta. Atlanta is where every single one of those letters where they're headquartered. They're headquartered here. Like when
is
you
it
go
really
into-
though? Even more than San Francisco?
And Toronto.
Yes, yeah.
Well,
Atlanta is the
Major
gay
city,
capital of the world.
I grew up in Canadian San Francisco.
I'm living in California right now, and I've never had anyone say
Atlanta's
that.
like Hollywood Part 2, so
Take it from
there's
somebody-
a lot of it there too,
yeah.
for sure.
Take it from somebody who owned a club for 7 years. It's a capital.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I think it's like like Mary the other day. Mary's getting really good at using the card on people, and it's beautiful. Like because she's using
Whip it out.
she's using their logic against them. You know
You
what I mean?
got to. You got to.
But it's like at the end of the day, normal people, which is a huge majority of everyone, nobody cares about this stuff, and nobody judges on this
Right.
stuff. And
And that's the crazy thing. In Atlanta, you wouldn't you see it, but nobody. There's no tension. There's no tension.
Yeah.
People just coexist, and I mean, it's literally an entire street.
Which
in
reminds
Midtown
me,
Atlanta.
Candace, holler at me later. I'll send you the card. Okay.
What is that?
That's the
my
whammon card.
whammon
That's the
card.
whammon card? Oh shit!
My
Love it.
whammon card, right?
Don't fuck with me card.
Complete with Captain Marvel on it. So,
I love it. As long as it doesn't show her behind, I'm good.
No. I have some taste. So.
It's not big enough to really
Quality,
like
that resolution back
show
there.
something that small, so it'd probably be all right.
I think what I need to do is I need to get married to make the whammon card video for Geeks and Gamers. So
You need
everybody,
a whammon army. A
So-
whammon army.
whammon army.
I have literally sent this. I've sent this to so many women in the Fandom Menace, just because I feel like we should pop this out every opportunity
We
we
need to
get.
we need to have like a thing right here, like a pin. Or like flare.
Yeah, I get
Flair from Office Space. Oh, is that an Office Space reference?
You need more flair.
It is.
Awesome. Anytime you get an Office Space reference,
I get point.
Yes, big time points for that. Well, where are you going with your awesome?
Hail, Mary Mayhem. Hail.
What is that? Oh, stapler! I couldn't see it first. Stapler, my stapler. Love it. All right, yes, Office
I was
Space.
about to say, I'm within sight of an Office Space reference.
Yes, I love it, man. Office Space is so great. If you have not seen Office Space, especially if you have like a 9 to 5 day job, watch it because it's there. It'll be therapy for you.
Even if there's a photocopier at your work.
I was just about to talk about that scene where they destroyed that shit.
Are you sure? I feel like if that movie came out today, they would be talking about how it's inspiring like normal workers to go out and commit fraud and arson.
It would be labeled incel only viewing or something.
Yeah,
It would be
absolutely.
ridiculous.
Especially like Diedrich Bader's character. What would you do with $1 million? I'll tell you what I'd do, man.
Two chicks.
Two chicks at the same time. That's what you do with $1 million.
What would you do? Oh, besides two chicks at the same time? Yeah, obviously. I love it, man. Love that movie so
That'd
much.
be great.
Speaking of whammon, how many of y'all have seen the Bat Whammon premiere?
I still haven't watched it.
I watched the EFAP mini on it, and it was everything I hoped it would be.
I think I did watch that. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched it, but I've seen John Talks said that it wasn't so whammon like, but it just sucked.
Yeah, listen to Ruby Rose in every trailer, right? So until Ruby Rose said one thing like a week ago, she hadn't really said that much to make us like as angry as a lot of people were at Brie Larson for like a lot of her comments. But the bottom line is she's just not a very good actress. When you hear every line she says in those trailers, it is the most like deadpan, cringeworthy thing you've ever heard.
They utilized her well in John Wick 2.
Yeah, when she didn't talk, she was a mute. Yeah, I agree.
She like works to avoid saying things.
Yeah, but
She was
the
a
thing
mute
is,
in John Wick 2, and she's pretty. Her action scenes were all right.
Oh yeah,
So
gorgeous. It's just look, I don't need another freaking Captain Marvel running around. Like
Yeah.
I want entertainment. Like I will go watch something substantive and that doesn't feel like I'm staring at another plank of wood.
this is what
love
CW.
vulnerability in a character, and when you like come out so hard, like Alicia Silverstone wasn't a fantastic. I mean, let's get honest. Batgirl wasn't like the role that made her or anything.
Clueless.
Hey, I love Clueless.
I love Clueless. I wasn't making fun of Clueless.
Hey, she was
I thought
kind of
Clueless
thick
was
in that
great.
outfit, though.
But
I ain't
that's
gonna
what I'm
front.
saying. Like, filled out the costume. She showed vulnerability, which made her relatable and made her likable. And that's what's missing in almost every single female character that's coming out right now is showing that, because they're too gotta be hard and gotta be like, it really ticks me off because it makes us seem unreal. And it's just
Like, and how are you as a woman supposed to relate to another woman who doesn't apparently have any of the same emotional traits that you have? How are you supposed to relate to a person who in no way, shape, or form resembles you? And how are men supposed to even be able to try to empathize or care about a woman who seems like a robot? Like, you're not going to connect to anybody on any levels. I could not agree more, Candace. You know,
head to body ratio. That's what I'm saying.
Has anyone seen Midsummer? It was a movie from this year. Directed. Has anyone seen Hereditary?
Yeah.
Okay, so Midsummer's directed by the same guy who did Hereditary. It's a horror movie, so if you don't like horror movies, I would not recommend watching it.
It's not as good as Hereditary.
No, it's not. I think Hereditary is a better movie, but I did like Midsummer quite a bit, and I think that it's a good example of a movie that has a female lead. And well, I'm being a horror movie, I guess it's a bit different because the whole point of it was how vulnerable she was through most of it, but it's not like a slasher movie. It's not one where there's like killers chasing people around. It's very much an allegory too for like a relationship that's sort of falling apart, and done in a way that it's basically these college students go on this retreat in a village in Sweden. I want to say it was Sweden. Yeah. And it's sort of, there may or may not be like a cult dealing with some things, but I think that the main actress in that one, I know her last name's P-U-G-H, but I forgot her first name, and she was quite good in it.
It's pronounced Reese's.
Yeah. No, her character actually was well written and is strong by the end of the film, but I think the reason why it actually has impact is because she actually goes through things, right? And I think that's sort of what a lot of quote strong female character movies are skipping. They're skipping the part where the character is vulnerable so that there's a reason why you can see her as strong by the end.
It's an artificial empowerment. It's not legitimate empowerment, and no self-respecting woman wants that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it feels like to me, like at the end of the day, they're continuously looking to strip away what is actually attractive about a woman, to make them to level them off, to put them on the same level as a man as far as physical and and their presence goes. Like for me, I could never understand. Like as a guy, I'm turned off by a woman who puts out that she's stronger or as strong as me, like to my face. Like it's kind of like, whoa, you don't need to do that. But also there's something beautiful about the sensuality of a woman, the softness, the compassion, and to a certain degree, the vulnerability. I mean, that role has never really, those roles for men and for women have been in place since the beginning. Like the thing about it is that men who are men recognize that a woman has strengths in a different manner than a guy does, that are of equal, importance. Like,
yeah, I was actually going to say, don't discount all forms of strength. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and
absolutely,
they're perfectly capable of being strong. And I'm not saying that women can't be strong like males in a physical way. It takes a lot more effort on a woman's part to get to that kind of level. And even then, if you stick the strongest woman next to the strongest male, you're still not going to compare. But let's not discount the other forms of strength that a woman can
display. Like a woman can give birth.
Yeah.
We can't compare to that. Like,
a dude will give up on a poop after 10 minutes.
For real.
Yeah. I mean, it's
clearly you haven't met my ex-husband.
Can hear him down the hallway.
Should I just put dinner in the microwave and this is no good tonight? Yeah.
So the thing, I have not watched Batwoman. I don't know if I will. I gave up on the CW years ago.
Yeah,
I was heavy into the Arrowverse for a long time. The first couple seasons of Arrow were great until Oliver Queen turned into a pussy and it became all about Olicity, and Oliver Queen became a guest star on his own TV show.
For real?
Yeah, Flash was awesome the first couple seasons until it became Iris West show and we are the Flash. Shut up. Like,
that's a line from the show.
I watched Flash for the first 2 seasons, and then it literally went off a cliff, and I was like, no more.
And even Legends of Tomorrow, who stars White Canary, right? Who is bisexual, and that was fine too. Like, because it wasn't they weren't playing the identity politics thing right away in that show. Supergirl was where it really started when they brought that over from CBS, and they just went full force with everything. And I was watching all these shows, even though I didn't like them because I wanted to like them and keep up with the story. I was just ignoring everything. But eventually, it just got too much. They went full tilt into the identity politics stuff, and that's what their game is. So it doesn't surprise me. not Lethal Lightning, Black Lightning was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But even then, there's obviously a lot of identity politics in that show as well. So I'm just done with it.
So what shows do we think kind of get it right, kind of find that middle ground that's acceptable? Like it's not overbearing.
Comic book shows in particular, or any show?
I mean, I would say comic book shows, comic book movies, like movies. I mean, maybe generally speaking, yeah, maybe everything. I mean, it's hard because it feels like to me in almost every new show, wherever they're trying to feature a female character, that's how they approach it. They approach it as, look at me, I'm Wonder Woman.
I have one exception. I think Jessica Jones, at least in the first season, did a great job. I think she was a fantastic choice, represented the character very well, showed vulnerability, but yet was also a hard ass. And that's the thing. Like the balance is hard, takes great acting chops and a great writing staff. And if you don't have both, then it comes off looking pretty bad. So Jessica Jones was fantastic. Now, if you want to switch over to like male, Daredevil was great.
Daredevil is going to be my pick.
First 2 seasons I kind of liked, actually.
See, I only made it like halfway through the first 2 episodes of Daredevil, and I was like,
Marvel. You got to at least hit the 4th one. Episode 4 of Daredevil is crazy.
It was good. It was good, man.
Daredevil season 2, the first 4 episodes of Daredevil season 2 is almost Dark Knight level for me.
Yeah,
that's how John Bernthal's acting is the best acting I've ever seen in any superhero show or movie.
What?
Punisher. The Punisher.
Yeah. Whoa. Say that again.
John Bernthal. John Bernthal is the Punisher when in episode.
I love the Punisher.
Man, how do I mute this motherfucker? Man, listen here. Let me tell y'all something. Ain't no show that they got on anything in Marvel as good as The Dark Knight. Acting, or otherwise. Yeah, you got muted. D-Day Cobra, Jeremy Prime.
This is why we don't have many black people.
I got the golden chalice.
I
did not say it was as good as The Dark Knight, but John Bernthal's acting is
I do like John Bernthal.
Better than anything outside of Heath Ledger's Joker in any superhero movie.
He was great.
It was
Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes.
Well, let's settle down there.
I think Joaquin Phoenix was masterful, but I'm not going to count a movie that I literally just watched like last week for the first time.
Yeah, it needs time.
Because I have to let that set with me. Like, trust me, man. Episode 2, Bernthal's Punisher, where he's talking about his family. Watch that shit and tell me that's not some of the best acting you've ever seen.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll give you that. I'm gonna check it out.
That whole show is I love the storyline though, the background. I love it. I think it's great.
I think that I don't think that Heath Ledger's Joker would be looked at the same way if he didn't die.
Oh,
just saying it.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm saying it.
No,
I think it would have been
100% saying it.
He was getting some pretty great, I don't know, initially, right? Even the trailers, the reviews on him were pretty huge, I think. There was a lot of...
The man who brought us A Knight's Tale.
Just because of the guy playing Batman. I think it was... Heath Ledger
you just went Hulk Hogan NWO on me, Ryan. Like, I thought we were cool, man.
Listen, I'm not saying it was bad, but what I'm saying is that I don't think it was a legendary performance.
Who's not a legendary performance?
I don't think that Heath Ledger's Joker was some kind of legendary all-time acting performance.
You're killing me.
In the context of the Joker, absolutely it was.
It's very memorable, and that makes it legendary for me.
It is the greatest acting performance I have ever seen in cinema history.
That movie caused a seismic shift in how comic book movies were viewed, mainly because of Heath Ledger.
Canceling Ryan right now on Twitter. I'm done.
He said that he perfectly performed the tone of Gotham in his character for me, which was the whole point. I mean, he was the mere opposite of Batman in that sense, and represented every bit of darkness that Gotham had. And I feel like in terms of that complexity, it was a very narrow window to operate in for him. He had to play full on dark all the time, like full on. And I think he did it really well. I like him.
And on top of that,
too. I like it too. It's just not the greatest performance all time.
And on top of that, you know, Joker, I think he was the first comic book in all comic book movies, he was the first actor in his role to actually like as the Joker, you could tell that the Joker knew that he was on the same level as Batman. He actually gave off that genius intellect that was a complete contrast to how Batman viewed villains. And Batman honestly did not know how to handle it. Batman was utterly powerless against it, and he pointed it out to him in that famous scene in the jail cell or in the interrogation room. He pointed it out that you have nothing that you can hurt me with. It's not your strength. It's not it's not the power. It's not your resources.
Oh, you're getting good. I love that thing.
Right. From a standpoint of the psychological advantage that you've never met, and that's how I win.
Ryan,
and he knew how Batman would play it. He gave him the wrong address on purpose.
I think what Ryan is doing is Ryan's actually working for these trolls. The whole time it's been a setup.
I've been using your platform, Jeremy.
Right. So now he's because he's like, the one thing I can say to offend Jeremy is that Ledger's Joker wasn't legendary. So now once I fire Ryan, and then they're going to be able to say, like, I was infiltrating the EU community the whole time. So it's actually an elaborate plan to cancel Jeremy. I know what you're doing, EU muscles. I know what you're doing.
I'm about to flex on you.
Flex.
No, and I'm not saying that I don't think it's good. I do think it's good, but I think the fact that Heath Ledger died made this such a memorable thing for everyone. Everyone was going in there looking for something, and that's how I felt about it. When I didn't walk away the same way I did walking away from Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. That's all I'm saying.
I think that much I can probably agree with you with, but I think that I don't like, as much as they were both playing the Joker, I wouldn't say I get bothered by it, but I almost don't think that those two performances are comparable to each other.
I don't either.
Because
they're not. They're two.
I agree. Joaquin Phoenix's is better. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, like it's I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. To me, it's sort of like comparing a role that weaves in and out of a movie versus a role that it is the 100% focus of the movie, and a role that is shrouded in mystery, and that's one of the things that makes it cool, or probably the thing that makes it the coolest, versus someone with no mystery at all. Like, there's not really, aside from, I guess, the genetic lineage stuff that's in Joker. I don't know if anyone's if we're spoiler free in here or not, but
we're talking about the three Jokers. Is that what you're talking about?
The three Jokers that are in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. When Jared Leto shows up, that big twist ending.
God, Jared Leto's pretty sore about that.
But what I mean is that I think the scope of the two roles are so dramatically different that while they're both called Joker and while they're both like technically the Batman villain Joker, I almost wouldn't be like, which one is the better Joker? I'd be like, I don't know. It's like saying who's the better gangster, like Marlon Brando in The Godfather, or like, I don't know, Ray Liotta in Goodfellas. Right?
I think Ledger's is probably the better Joker, but I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance was better.
I don't know, because by the time you get to the end there, I think that Joaquin Phoenix's character is fully developed into just the full-fledged Joker. And this was a journey. Like, we don't start off being the Joker. This is an origin story, right? So you can't count the entire movie as whether or not he is or isn't the Joker. It's where you land with him. And I think he does land squarely as the Joker that we all sort of know and love to loathe, right? So I don't even think that it's fair to say that Heath Ledger's is a better quote unquote Joker, so much as that it's a different Joker because we have him the entire time. This is just a different story.
Yeah. This Joker is born at the end, and Heath Ledger's Joker is an anonymous. He's an anomaly that's presence can be felt throughout the entire film. He's completely represented as the Joker, as the anarchy. So there's a difference in that respect. But I think that this was a great point by the Geek in Disguise. He says Joaquin's wasn't a general public threat. He was selective and only targeted those who had wronged him. That's why Mitchell guy died. And that is a big difference in what their goals are in the movie.
Hey, and by the way, I just want to say, because I know some people are saying they don't want us to spoil. Obviously, it's Uche's show. He gives me one, but there's some people that don't want us to spoil. So if we can,
I tried to be as vague as I could. Sorry about blowing the Jared Leto.
I'm not out there, but you should have already seen the fucking movie by now, right?
Yeah, you late.
You're late. It's been out a week.
There is a poll on Twitter right now, and it's indisputable evidence.
It's rigged. It's rigged.
Oh, let's see it. Let's see it.
Yeah. So Ryan should be canceled, and there's just the poll.
It's 100% yes.
Yeah, I mean, and what are you going to say to that? Like, it's facts at this point.
To be fair, the options are yes or yes. So.
I could do, like, if you like Jeremy, I could do the job of both Drunk and Ryan. I'm perfectly capable of handling that.
I think you can handle that. I think Mary, at this point, Mary's going to cover Drunk and Ryan at this point.
Mary's read Heir to the Empire. All of a sudden, she's the EU queen.
Oh man!
I don't know why I need to keep pulling this out, but I'm pretty sure.
So right now, and again, I wanted to be fair with this poll, but I mean, at this point, Ryan, 100% of the people have decided yes, you should be canceled. So I don't know what to do at this point other than to cancel you.
What I think is always entertaining when you put out the polls that are the same thing is how many people vote for the top one.
I know.
It's really intriguing.
Hey,
like the psyche that goes behind people.
I was like, oh, the top one's yes. Wait, the bottom one's yes too.
What does this comment mean? Oh, look, the car video guy promoting everyone under the sun. Is that what I am?
Where's that at? Oh. I like it. I liked it.
I appreciate the fact that I'm being known as the car video guy at this point. They don't even recognize me by name or anything anymore. It's just the car video guy.
Yeah, I retweeted that comment. No worries.
All right, thank you, Ryan. You're still canceled, but thank you.
I'm trying to work my way back.
Yeah, man. I just I really do like I mean, Ryan and I we see eye to eye on so much. Even if we disagree, we really I don't fucking know where you're coming from with this one, bro. I mean, I just think Ledger's performance.
Somebody on there who agrees with her, kinda.
He's just still alive. It would be easier for me to say I enjoyed Joaquin Phoenix's version of Joker more. I feel guilty because I never imagined we would get a second good Joker. I'll be honest with you, and as someone that does hold Ledger's performance as the greatest performance I've ever seen, and for if you want reference, like the second greatest performance I've ever seen is Edward Norton in American History X.
Yeah, that was
good.
That was legendary.
And so, but I never thought that Jared Leto Joker did not suck because it had to follow Ledger's Joker. It sucked because it was fucking terrible. But I thought anybody that was going to be Joker was always going to face that comparison of Ledger. But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and no spoilers, by the way, Chad. I'm just kind of talking about overarching things here, but they are different, and I don't see them being outside of the fact that they're both the Joker. I don't see how you can compare the two performances. They are fundamentally different. Obviously, Ledger is dealing within the world of Batman, and he's directly playing off of Batman, where this Joaquin Phoenix is such an isolated movie. But I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance is masterful. I think it's one of the best performances I've seen in recent memory.
In a long time. Yeah,
I think the directing is as good as there's nothing in the movie I have a flaw with at this point. I've seen it twice. The directing is masterful. The score, the music, the cast, the storytelling, the pacing, the lack of dialogue, it's all incredible. I mean, it absolutely is a masterful film. It really is. But yeah, with Ledger, they're just different, man. They're really different. It's kind of like how you couldn't really compare Ledger's to Nicholson's because one was kind of just whimsical and fantastical and out there,
Gangster, kind of the mob boss kind of Joker.
I just think that the Joker right now is probably objectively the most iconic villain ever outside of maybe Darth Vader. For different people to portray that role. it really speaks highly to their ability. Like, I think Jared Leto's a great actor, and we've seen evidence of that. But I think Suicide Squad was a disaster for everybody.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jared Leto because, as he said himself, there is a lot of that movie. There's a lot of Joker
on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, that we never got to see. So I don't even place a judgment on his Joker because there wasn't enough.
I don't like that gangster Joker. I didn't in the comics, and I didn't on Suicide Squad. But you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah,
they cut so much out of that.
Yeah,
there's an element though of just
you can't really do that. You can't judge him and place him in any one spot in the Joker in your ranking of the Joker because he didn't get enough to actually qualify to be a part of the conversation like that.
Yeah, well, he was just coming off a Best Supporting Actor win too, and probably wouldn't have taken the role unless what the role that was pitched to him seemed like something that would be worth him taking. So when he was thinking that he was going to be the primary antagonist in the movie and that he'd have like an hour of screen time, then the movie comes out and he's like a B story at most with like 4 minutes of screen time. I understand why he's pissed. I don't think that what was there was enough to make me be like, oh, I want more of that Joker. I wish I could have seen the one that was more focused on him. But when he says like, yeah, like it made me sad that they were making a Joker movie and I wasn't being a part of it at all. And like they were going a different way. I get why he's mad. Like, I think Warner Brothers did kind of screw him there. I like the movie they ended up making a lot. Like, and I'm happy they went with Joaquin Phoenix. But
could Jared Leto have given a performance on the same level of Joaquin Phoenix had he been given that opportunity as Joker? I think
that script. I mean,
no, I'm talking about Joker. I'm talking about Joker for Joker. Like, take Joaquin Phoenix out and put Jared Leto in that spot. Do you get an equal performance? I think you do.
Is he gonna sing?
Because they're both Oscar worthy performers.
If it was anyone but Joaquin Phoenix, I might agree with you, but he's kind of one of those other level actors.
He's like, a weird dude.
And if so was Jared Leto. Jared Leto went full method for Joker, and he went full method in Dallas Buyers Club. So, in that performance, I mean, I watched it. Y'all have seen it. That was an amazing performance in Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, that's true. It was. He was.
I think he could have given a similar performance. I'll say that, a similar performance.
I don't know about that. I did have a question as well, though. So there's some chatter like whether or not we should be getting a sequel to the Joker. Where does everybody stand on that?
Don't effing do it.
Well,
please don't.
Who did I talk about?
No spoilers. I'm just mentioning that if we're going to be talking about how anything ends to prop up and how anything would begin, just.
Oh no! Yeah, we spoiled it. There could be a Joker too because he lived. Oh, we spoiled it. Sorry.
I can give my thoughts with no spoilers. Uche knows them already, but I think I can be quick. I think that the two scenarios
we kind of gave a kind of bare bones outline of what would be acceptable for a sequel,
and also the two things that I think, considering Joaquin in particular, are likely to happen is either one, this is the only time we ever see him play the Joker. This is a one-off Elseworlds story. It's never touched, and it goes down as a, if not masterpiece, then damn good movie. I'm leaning towards masterpiece myself, but I think it'd be hard to say it's not a very well-made film, and I'd be okay with it just never being touched, and like it's a standalone, that's it. The other thing, though, is having kooky method actor Joaquin Phoenix, who is extremely picky about the scripts he takes. The way it could work out well for us if they do go the route of either making a Batman movie with him as the antagonist or just a Joker too, is that I think he will force Warner Brothers to take the time and spend the effort to get writers that can actually deliver a script that will A, not ruin this movie, and B, maybe give us something that is better than we could even possibly imagine.
And
like
what
a
do they
Godfather 2 to the Godfather.
You know what I mean? Like the budget versus the payoff here. They obviously know they can probably pump a little bit more money into a second one at this point, seeing the payoff with the first.
I almost think that they shouldn't, though.
Yeah, I think you keep it under 100 million.
Invest in the writers.
That's true.
Be placed elsewhere to get quality people.
They never invest in writers. They always invest in bigger effects. Like it never occurs to them that perhaps you should take your time with the movie. Like I really feel like The Joker is something of an anomaly because I don't remember the last time we got a movie this damn good.
With Phoenix, though, CGI is not going to get him to agree to do it. An amazing script will.
Well, I think
that's sort of why this is an interesting position and a good one for the fans.
I think when you look at the way that when you look at how the scenario, because Joaquin Phoenix is the one who laid it out and said that he's open to doing another Joker movie. I think that one of the things you got to look at is what kind of story is it going to be, and like me and Mark talked about. In my mind, what I think about is for a sequel, you don't bring in Batman. I think you make it a more of a you make it more of a thriller style movie, kind of like in the vein of Seven, where it's Jim Gordon versus the Joker, and you're kind of taking bits and elements from Batman Year One, where Gordon comes into Gotham City as a new detective. And there's a streak of serial killings going on, and it's a slow burn once again to finding out why the killings are happening, the patterns between the killings, and you see that there's a potential that it may be, this psycho that was locked up in Arkham Hospital who was referred to as the Joker 10 years prior. And now has broken out and has been, off the grid for 10 years. And now there's these killings going on. And you take it from there and you just have that slow burn and buildup of him having to figure out what's going on. Maybe you bring in part of the Killing Joke element where his daughter, teenager Barbara Gordon, who is not Batgirl, ends up getting, involved in it as well. And you have a similar scenario where she gets shot, paralyzed, or killed. And you kind of play that kind of slow burn with him just trying to now moving from that mentally ill person to this agent of chaos, this person who's trying to take or trying to keep Gotham in that downward spiral of, just decay.
So do you guys ever see Dude Perfect? They're really big on YouTube like 10 years ago. Now they've got a bunch of shows, right? And they're throwing basketballs off like the top of a stadium into it and making a basketball. They probably have tried that like 10,000 times before they get it just right. That was WB with the Joker. I do not trust those people to make a sequel to this movie. They probably didn't think that this was even going to work. That's why they invested so little in it. That's why they had investing partners in this movie, right? It wasn't just Warner Brothers. They thought that they didn't think this was going to be as big as it was. And now that they see this,
out of it.
Yeah, now that they see it, they're going to want to make it a big-time production. They're going to want to make sure that they bring all these big characters into it. I do not trust them to make another one. Leave it as it is. This movie is damn near perfect. Just leave it. They won't be able to because there's money on the table, unfortunately. But
I agree 100%. The minute, now that there's money on the table, they're going to want to stick their fingers in the little pies. They're going to want to meddle and mess with things, and you're not going to wind up coming out of this with it unscathed. It's not going to be even remotely comparable to what we got with the Joker. You're going to have this, essentially, forgive my language, you're going to have a shit show on your hands. And so I just don't want it touched. I want well enough, for once in Hollywood, for the love of Bob, can you leave well enough alone? Please.
No way. No.
Maybe also Boucher's idea of bringing in someone like a Jim Gordon. If you were to bring in anybody as an obvious protagonist to this current film the way it is, do you think it would probably change the soul of the film? Because I feel like perhaps if you were to bring anybody in as a solid co-lead to go up against the anti-hero, I feel like it would change the whole theme, really.
That's why you move it 10 years down the line. You move it a decade away from the events of Joker to separate it, or maybe you just start it fresh as a completely a universe on its own that's already existing, where there's already a Joker and there's
sequel. It doesn't really feel like a Joker sequel to me. That just
then don't make it a sequel.
I don't think they need to touch this universe again, like this Joker universe. I just don't.
Joaquin said he wants to. WB's not going to turn down the money.
Joaquin said he'd open to it, but
I don't think he's saying yes to it unless the script's a masterpiece.
Yeah, if Todd Phillips is directing and they have the same group of people who worked on the original one, then it's a guarantee. And you got to think about this. Look at what happened after The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan was allowed to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, however he wanted, with however much money he needed. And to this day, his next movie coming out, $250 million they've spent on it, and WB does not care. They're like, you do whatever you want because you're the guy who made it.
Black Klansman.
So, you made it. So you made one of the most iconic movies of the last 50 years in The Dark Knight. Comic book movie or not, people who like comic book movies and people who don't love The Dark Knight. Same thing you have here. How lucky is WB to have two directors in a 10-year span that have changed filmmaking in the genre they're in? They're going to let Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix do whatever they want. They will not set one foot in to interfere.
You bring Nolan into it, and you know why Nolan is so great? Like, because he didn't make an Inception 2. You know, any other.
He made a Dark Knight Rises, and that was nowhere near.
No, I understand that, but we kind of all assumed that this would be a trilogy. Like, and he said that it was never planned out to be a trilogy from the beginning, but a superhero trilogy, like, there was already a sequel to Batman Begins. Batman Begins was set up to be a sequel. The whole entire film was presented in the fashion to be a sequel. So The Dark Knight was planned to be a sequel. Now, I don't think Rises is the movie that Nolan wanted it to be, but unfortunately
it was ambitious, but it just didn't.
No, but I'm saying without Ledger passing away changed everything, and I think he did the best with what he could. But Inception did like $800 million, which is insane for it's not a pre-existing franchise. It's not part of a comic book, continuity. It's not part of anything. It was an original film, and it made $800 million. It was Leonardo DiCaprio's biggest movie outside of Titanic, I think. Interstellar, another movie, Matthew McConaughey's biggest movie ever, completely original, no sequel. It made $700 million.
So then maybe they allow Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix to do another. Maybe they want to do another project that's not Joker. All I'm saying is Joaquin Phoenix has said out of his own mouth he is interested in the possibility of continuing. He says this was a dream character for him. This was a dream job for him after the fact. He said he didn't know. He took it because he didn't know what he really wanted to do as the Joker. But after the fact, it has become his dream character. So he is interested in exploring where he can go again with it. If he says at any point, hey, Todd, let's do another one, WB's not going to be like, no, they're going to be like, shit, here's the check. There ain't no numbers on it. You can fill all that in. Do what you
want. Part of the problem, though, is that there's no stop. There's too much hungry money attitude within the system here, and so my big concern is that there won't be those stops. They're just going to go full tilt. You're not going to get something that's anywhere near at the level that has been set by the Joker. You're just going to wind up with something that's relatively soulless. Even if it's a decent sequel, it's not going to be anywhere near the same level, and it could very well taint it and destroy it. So I'd much rather leave well enough alone and just be happy with something good for once instead of driving these insane sequels through all of the time. Let's just get something new.
So you're saying if Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix think that they can do something that is even better as Joker, that they shouldn't do it?
I'm saying I'd like to see the precedent set that it's okay to allow a movie to stand on its own without having to do a sequel.
I mean, we've seen that with Inception. You've seen that with Interstellar.
The Departed.
That's only if Nolan. Like, we need to start getting more people that are, and even Tarantino.
That's the first time we've seen Todd Phillips go this route, though.
No, I know, and this is where he can make a stand.
Old school.
What happened with Todd Phillips with The Hangover 2?
They know how to do that.
But I'm saying this is where Todd Phillips can take a stand and go, you know what? I think this movie it needs to stand on its own, and we told the story we wanted to tell, and we leave the interpretation of what happens afterwards up to the audience. And
I can agree with that. I can agree with that for sure.
And that's how. Again, I think we will get a sequel just because there's going to be too much money. There's too much hype. There's too much surrounding it. But I personally want to see it left alone. So,
well, I'll tell you what. Joaquin Phoenix before this movie. This is a pre-Joker Phoenix and post-Joker Phoenix, because now, truth be told, Joaquin Phoenix is a bigger star because of this movie than any role he's done before. He's getting the true first taste of worldwide stardom And that has changed even his perception.
He's a weird
on
cat.
where he wants to go.
I don't
with
care how weird he
this
is. He deserves an Oscar.
Yeah,
Oh,
he absolutely
He
does.
deserves it.
They're not going to give it to him.
I'm
Probably.
about to say, I wonder.
No, I think he'll get it. I think he'll get it. And
No,
when he
I
gets
hope
it,
so.
when he gets it, DC will reign supreme.
No, dude, this ain't got to do with DC. This has to do with the fact that he's a white male and all of the crap that has went around it. There's no way that Oscars So White is going to give him the Oscar.
Exactly.
for What they
They'll
think
have
he
no
represents.
choice. There will be riots in the streets if they
I
don't give
disagree.
him.
I
If they
disagree.
want to increase their viewership to
If
the
he does
Oscars,
get an Oscar, if he does get an Oscar, there will be riots in the street. There's no so woke Hollywood is not going to take the risk. They would far rather have the incels rioting in the streets than they would their precious SJWs.
Well, they actually did I watched a video earlier today about it was a video that talked about some of the interviews or some of the statements that were made by some of the Academy Award voters after seeing Joker. And the funny thing about it is that it was split down the middle between, I think, like the six people who were on the voting board for the Academy Awards. It was split down the middle on how they felt about the movie, but all of them felt like it was the best performance of any actor they'd seen thus far this year. So while they may not, and of course, two of them referred to, should this film even exist? It made me uncomfortable, blah, 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 all the shit that we've seen in the news, right? But they still, even on side of that, they still said, but Joaquin Phoenix's performance was extraordinary, and we haven't seen anything this good out of anyone this year. So even the ones who want to hate on it can't deny the fact that this is the best performance of the year.
They can't deny it, but that doesn't mean they'll vote for it.
What are you going to vote for? It would be obvious robbery if they gave it to anybody else.
So I got a way to
not
fix
saying
all
that
this.
I don't care. Okay.
Nick Wilson just said, make a Geeks and Gamers Oscar. Hey, what if y'all did a show where y'all could
Oscar show,
Call it a Jeremy.
Odin
the Jeremy Prime Awards.
No, you call it the GG, the good game.
And we can get our very diverse cast to vote on it, so they can't say it was all from straight white males or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Odin's already done this, guy.
We don't rep. It's all that Christian stuff.
Steal it from him.
Well, there's always next year. You can go in together.
Get that Jesus shit out of here.
Odin knows I love him. Odin knows I love him.
I was about to say, I was like, is Odin Christian too? I kind of figured he was like pagan or something.
No,
with the name
It
and all.
seems like he'd be pagan, right?
I know Josiah is Christian.
Hey,
but-
I've got to go ahead and bounce because I've got to get some videos ready for tomorrow. But Mary, I do want to talk to you very soon. So, okay.
You know how to get a hold of me.
All right, I will. I'll be in contact. And Candy, it was awesome talking to you first time here, having a good in-depth conversation. And I really appreciate everything you've been doing. Mark, you're only here because you're disabled, and I can explain.
Hey, the channel needs a token cripple. I'll play the part.
Dude, you've been doing killer work. If I could, if it wasn't for Ryan and his EU muscles, I wouldn't have him here because your videos are pulling like 170,000 views. Yeah, I can't get anything out of Ryan these days.
To be fair, I
That's
used
true,
Ryan
shit.
as a source earlier when I had some questions about EU lore in regards to my next script. So
Ryan,
True.
we're team effort here.
Ryan, outside of his opinion on Ledger, is pretty awesome. He really is. So, but Uche, it's good to have a black person here. So,
Gives
That's all I can say about
gives
you.
rhythm to the entire broadcast. Just good rhythm for it. Rhythm.
No, but I do. I appreciate it. Oh my God, shut up! No, that's what I was doing at Purdue all day. We're walking around the campus. Everybody's screaming, Uche! He's like, yo, what's up? He's telling these stories. I'm like, oh my God, his ego's out of control. Is this what it's like live stream on Geeks and
You're
Gamers?
just wanting them to recognize you, though, right?
I was very jealous. I was
Jeremy
very
Grimes.
so.
and then you hear before the game starts that Elijah Sindelar's out, and you're like, what? And then it changed everything.
And I did. I have my Jeremy Grimes because they called me Jeremy Grimes on my press passes. I'm like, I'm not that famous apparently.
I told him to spell it that way. I said, yeah, that'll piss him off. Do it like this.
But yeah, so anyway, I appreciate you, all of you. It's been awesome talking with you, and I'm sure I'll see all of you again very soon. Zia, Mary, I do want to talk to you soon. Sometime this weekend we'll get together, okay?
All right, brother. We'll see you.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Yep.
Bye.
See you, Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Bye.
All right, now that the asshole's out of there, let's talk about let's get down to business in here. Now, no, but look, I'll tell you one thing. Like, it's been really a great thing, kind of getting connected with Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers. And I know I say this a lot, but it's the truth because real recognizes real. The guy is legit. He's honest. He's straightforward. I like it because I'm a pretty straightforward person myself. I don't like sugarcoating stuff. I feel like, people are so concerned about image. It's not image. Just be you. Be who the hell you are. And people are gonna take it or they're gonna hate it. They're gonna hate you or they're gonna love you. Either way, doesn't matter. You're still gonna be consistent and be who you are, and that's what he's been. So I respect it. Now, let's talk about something else.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what happened?
Nothing. I'm just terrified.
Oh.
What are we talking about?
Don't be scared. It's all gonna be okay.
Does this big black guy scare you?
Yeah, scared by the big black guy.
No, I have no idea what we're talking about.
My leg was cut off long ago. It's not like this just happened.
Like got called in from the chat, like The Price is Right or something. Come on down. So I have no idea what's going on.
Well, me neither.
So just kind of piggyback the whole Oscars thing. I mean, if it's truly about the art, if it's truly about the a performer and how they approach their craft, then up to this point you don't have much of a choice in who you would pick to win the Best Actor award. It would have to be Joaquin Phoenix. It's not gonna be Robert Downey Jr. He took himself out of that entire discussion. He told Disney not to promote him as an Academy Award nominee for his role in Endgame. And I couldn't believe that people were talking about he should win the Oscar after Endgame came out. I was like, Endgame was average at best. Endgame was an average movie. Infinity War was actually.
And how much screen time did he really have comparatively?
He didn't have that much. I mean, really, I feel like Endgame was more of a Captain America story. I feel like that was more geared towards him than it was towards Iron Man. And even at that, like Marvel they don't have any roles in their movies, in their MCU that dive deep into the actual character that is in the leading role. There's no dive into the actual psyche, into the
there's no depth to these movies, bro. There's no depth to these.
They're so cookie cut. They're so formulaic. And
you get depth after 21 movies, right? That's the depth that we get, right?
They're on a different pace. I think though that it's hard to look at a character who could so easily have just been very, very one-dimensional, like Nebula, and what they did with her over the course of 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies and Infinity War and Endgame, really, because she's not in anything else, and she's never a main character in any of them.
Yeah,
but she's got a lot of development, so I think it's unfair to just write off the MCU movies as just they're just cookie cutter action roller coasters. That's it. There is more to the best of them. Okay. They can be great or terrible, great at their best and terrible at their worst. But I don't think it's easy to just paint them all with a broad brush. But it's weird the way the Academy, especially to relate it back to the Oscars, how they look at them. Because I think that when Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture, it wasn't even the best movie of that year that featured the Black Panther.
It wasn't even a good movie.
It's very average.
Infinity War was a much better film and also featured Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther. And they nominated not even the best movie of that year to feature that character. And I was
of what? Because of their identity politics campaign. That's the reason why they gave it a nomination. When they said it was nominated, I was like, I laughed. I was like, somebody was getting their throat stepped on by Kevin Feige, because there is no way that in the 90 years of the Oscars that you could look at the list of all of these different Best Picture nominations and say that Black Panther was anywhere near the level of movie making that any of those nominated movies were.
It literally maybe the worst.
It was absolutely the worst of all of them. All of them. I mean, you're telling me that this movie, because I look at a movie that gets nominated for Best Picture as a movie that is a credit to the advancement of film, at least in the entire decade that movie came out in.
Yeah,
And
I definitely agree. It was kind of pushed up a little bit, but I did really like how they introed the world of Wakanda. It felt like the way that they brought it in. It was really breathtaking for me, just in the introduction of that world within Black Panther. I did like that, but overall, I understand where you're going with that. Definitely.
I think the movie was quite well directed. I think that the biggest problem with it, though, I found, or at least for me, was how poorly the rules of what vibranium is and what it does were observed, and what the implications that has on the rest of the MCU. Like it breaks everything. Like the same vibranium orbs can disable a vehicle or heal a spinal injury, and that's weird.
But it's metal.
You need to be clear about how that works. You're going to put that in
and follow them. Yeah,
it's kind of like hyperspace as a weapon tier stuff. Like,
it is bad, and Chadwick Boseman is boring.
Like,
boring as fuck.
Yeah,
he wasn't in Civil War. I thought in Civil War he was amazing as T'Challa. Like,
he was
alright. An intensity that just wasn't in Black Panther. It wasn't in his role in Black Panther.
How is he Black Panther? The Black Panther doesn't make sense to me, because he's got the stuff, and then he has the powers of Black Panther, but you have to go through the ritual to become the Black
rules,
Panther.
That's what I said. The rules don't make sense. They weren't observing consistent rules in that movie at all. Like,
who's the African guy off of? He was in Captain Marvel. He was in Gladiator. He was in.
Jimon Hansu.
Jimon Hansu.
Yeah.
I like him.
They would have got him to play Black Panther.
He's in so many movies.
Looked at that and been like, okay.
He was already in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm low key looking more forward to Chadwick Boseman in 21 Bridges or whatever the hell that stupid movie coming out is. That wasn't Black Panther. He's just so boring. People are like, well, he's just being a king. He's being regal. I'm like, no, he's being fucking boring.
That's not regal. He doesn't even have a real African. His accent is way the fuck off.
I am the captain now.
He was fantastic. That was so good.
Huh? What?
In what?
Huh?
In what, Candace?
Wasn't he also in Constantine?
Was that him?
Yeah. She's talking about what's his name from Blood Diamond with
Jimon Hansu.
Yeah, Jimon Hansu. Yeah, he's great in every movie he's been in.
He was amazing. I loved him in that. It was perfect. So
Constantine, another underrated, excellent movie. I loved Constantine.
Keanu Reeves.
Gavin Rossdale was in that film.
What'd you think about the TV show?
I
never didn't see it, so
never watched
I can't
it
relate.
once. Constantine is Keanu Reeves.
What's his name? Matt Walker.
Primed for a second one.
He definitely looked a lot more like the comic book John Constantine than
He's
Keanu
literally
Reeves.
right out of the pages.
Yeah,
of the book.
Perfect. It was,
but I didn't get around to watching the show, so I can't really comment on it.
Keanu Reeves Constantine is not like Constantine from the comics at all. It's an awesome movie, but I forget the actor's name, but it's definitely he's in Legends of Tomorrow right now. Or I haven't watched Legends in the past year or so, but he was a while ago, and he's spot on Constantine. It's awesome. If you like Hellblazer, you like his portrayal.
I thought Constantine the movie was just a great movie. I mean,
it was, but it wasn't.
It was a little bit ahead of its time. I think if you bring it out,
Gavin Rossdale was in it. I like it.
It gets a lot more. It gets a lot more praise.
He was great.
All right,
I was 13 in 1997. I was a big fan of Bush.
Oh, same here. Like I just saw him 2 years ago, and he's a douchebag.
Oh, seriously?
But it's fantastic to look at while he sings. Still.
He was I remember seeing him when I was like 14, and he threw a pick out into the audience, and I caught it, and I still have it somewhere in my house.
Oh my gosh. I would have melted like right there.
The Geek in Disguise is saying, why is everybody sleeping on Dylan Dog Dead of Night? I've never seen that before, but I just looked it up, and it's Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
It's Brandon Routh as like some John Wick looking dude or something. It looks hilarious. I need to watch that.
So
I might need to
definitely
take off
finish
soon.
my
It's
Fandom
coming
Menace
up on. It's 12:30 here, and I still have to work tomorrow, and then drive to Toronto after work. So, which is like a 4.5 hour drive. So I might need to get going, but I will be on my laptop, so I won't have my pretty camera or lights if anyone is doing any streams on the weekend. But I should probably take off now, otherwise I might fall asleep on the road tomorrow night, and I really don't want to do that. Or don't have to like pull over and then camp in the back of my car and then have a cop be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'll be like, "I'm sleeping. Leave me alone. I'm a cripple."
They're not gonna do nothing to you in Canada. They're gonna be good.
Cops still sometimes like being jerks.
Yeah, except in jerks, instead of just shooting people for no reason, they're just like, why in that car, eh?
Get your hands where I can see them.
I'll tell you though, the one thing that sucks about being in the military in my area, where like everyone's in the military, we cannot use "Hey man, I'm in the army" as a get out of a ticket free card at all, because every single cop is just like, I mean,
the cop's like, I'm in the reserve.
You and everyone else have pulled over today, buddy. You're going 20 kilometers over the limit, eh?
Oh.
All right, so I'm wondering,
like
should
2 miles an hour?
I don't know. You tell me. You'll never know.
Let's see. Now, I'm wondering, should I premiere my Fandom Menace movie as a kind of closing to this broadcast? Or my Fandom Menace essay?
How long?
Oh, you guys can keep talking even if I have to go. I don't want to make it sound like I'm making this.
Oh, can we? Thanks for the permission, Mark.
I don't know, man. I was the only one who said I wanted to go to sleep, and then Uche's like,
we're going to keep talking. Get out of here, cyborg guy.
All right. I'm gonna watch your Fandom Menace video the second I wake up.
I want people to see it. I want people to see it. It's gonna be freaking sweet. I mean,
I know, man. I like even what you have shown me of it, and I can't wait to see the final version. So everyone, watch and comment and like Uche's video. But anyways, it was very nice meeting you, Candace, and seeing you again, Mary and Ryan and Uche. Thank you for being a wonderful host yet again. I think this is like
Mark. The true story would hit you up about that karaoke.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in. Like, I've been thinking of what song I could possibly do that would hopefully make a good impression for a first one, but also wouldn't be a too ambitious one.
I mean,
there's got to be some country song about not having a leg to stand on or something that'd be perfect, Mark.
Yeah, man, probably would be. I don't know, like I can sing Beatles songs really well, like Alice in Chains, Tool, Nirvana,
Yesterday.
Stuff like that.
Ryan's gonna get fired twice tonight. I'm just gonna replace Ryan with Mark.
Oh god.
So, what do you guys think? Should I premiere it? Should I premiere this Fandom Menace video essay? I like it. I mean, I love it. I was hyped making it the whole time.
Premiere drawing a bigger initial crowd, especially if you hype it up on Twitter or whatever. Tweet it out. All notes coming out. We'll tweet you out too, man. Let's get those.
Yeah. You're at 45 right now, viewers. I would hold off just maybe a little bit more.
If we get to 100, that's what I said last time, right, Mark?
Yeah.
So if we get to 100 people,
the trailer.
I'll premiere the whole thing, the full video. It's like 20 minutes almost.
Just premiere it. Just premiere it. Do it.
Yeah.
Oh, see, first y'all tell me to hold off. Now y'all tell me to go for it. I'm torn.
I have no opinion.
Yeah, of course.
That helps.
No, of course you don't.
Well, are you talking about sharing it with everybody or just ending the stream and then premiering it immediately?
Premiering it on the stream.
Yeah, but then nobody's going to watch it. Like, you know what I mean?
Thanks.
But,
for being a downer on my money bag telethon.
All right. Well, what I mean was I thought you meant like ending the stream and then immediately like sending everybody to the premiere of it, like scheduling the premiere for like 5 minutes. I don't know.
Oh, like the YouTube premiere feature.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant by premiere.
Title it your live stream, so when it's saved, it'll be people can click on it and see it then too.
Hold on, say that again.
If you were to do a premiere, then you retitle your live and everything, and so when it's saved in your YouTube, people can know, oh, this is where I can find that.
Oh, I can retitle it right now.
Oh. But it's at the end, so make sure you say like at the 1 hour 54 mark.
Yeah.
People are saying goodbye to me in the chat, so now I'm going to feel like a jerk for not leaving. However, I'm going to leave you guys on while I'm getting ready for bed, so I will still be in the chat. But thank you again, everybody.
Bye, Mark.
Can we do like,
Jay?
all right, brother, be good.
Take it easy, man. Later, Mary. Later, Ryan. Later.
Hey, see Mark. Yes, Lethal. Lethal's my boy.
All
Oh.
right, so let me change the title around here.
He's just getting to work over there. What's up, Candace? Hold on, let me see if I can find that. I don't even know how to do the whole what's up, Candace? Wow.
You're about to get me, so go. Yeah, there you go.
What's up,
We'll
fellas?
do the fist bump when you're close
man?
not a diagonal. Right
This
now,
is Mary and Candace's first appearance on a live stream together, right?
I know it's dope. I love it.
I love
I love
it.
that you're on here with
We
us.
got a little blonde brunette thing going on here. I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I thought me and Uche had the ebony and ivory going on. But
Yeah, we got a little dark and light there too.
I really think we pull it off a bit better than you guys. No offense, but we both have better hair.
well, let's calm down there.
Yeah, no, I think the chat will agree.
Chat, what do you think? Chat,
What the heck?
let's see. 1 in the chat if Mary and Candace have better hair. 2 in the chat if me and Uche are pulling it off.
It's your funeral.
What are you
Yeah, I
doing,
wouldn't even try to make that comparison.
Ryan? What did that mean?
What? What do you mean?
You said if we're pulling it off, and I know what you're talking about.
Oh man, I've been timed out.
Trying to get
Let's see what the chat. 1.5. Oh, come on, geek. 1. Will, come on, Will, my boy.
Yeah, Mike, you better put a 1 in there. I know
Let's
you know.
see.
I suppose I could vote.
No, you don't need one.
I get a vote, right?
Women's suffrage.
I do get my own vote.
Mm.
25 from the
That's closer to 2. So this has a 2 in it. Alex McCarthy says 3. The ladies smell better though. That wasn't the question. That was not the question.
Stanky ass. What? Save, damn it.
Geek,
Save my
bitch. Pretty ladies always win out. Will's a sucker. Nick Wilson says half. I don't know what that means.
It's closer to 1, so
Yeah, without going over like Jeopardy rule or Wheel of Fortune. Was that Price is Right rules?
yeah, if we're not going over, then that 25 doesn't count for you.
Well, we already established. We previously established that whatever number is closest to is going to win. So any number that is closest to 1 will be associated with 1. Any other number that is closer to 2 will be associated with 2. How's that?
I don't know that I care anymore. It sort of feels passe at this point, and I'm just not sure I care.
That's all right.
I know the truth. You know the truth, and you have to live with it. So,
All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to upload it to. Well, let me make sure Josiah is available to put it on the.
Oh, it's going to go on G&G, huh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's going on G&G.
Nice.
Let me see here.
Now I got Beatles songs stuck on my head because Mark the Cyborg. Oh, Colt Cut 45 puts 1.49. That's bullshit because that goes to 1. Yesterday,
I really like
all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly.
All right, I got that changed. So now we have the actual title of the stream changed. So we got 45 people in here. Who wants to see it now?
Me.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Because I want y'all to see it now. I don't want to upload. Josiah takes too long.
Go for it.
See here.
I'm here, man. I'm with you.
First, let me mute my computer so it doesn't blow up in my ears when I hit this. That was not the right button.
How are we doing this? You're premiering it on Geeks and Gamers. What are you going to screen share?
No, I think he's just gonna play it for us here, and then it'll go live on Geeks and Gamers whenever. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right after.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take a minute to upload, and then it'll take a minute and then it might take the rest of the night for Josiah to fucking put it up. That's fine.
Yeah, well, Jeremy just posted a video too, so.
Yeah, all right, let me see here. Screen share. Okay. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Should I sing to fill in the gap here? I can do better than Ryan.
Please do. I would love to hear you sing.
Have you heard me sing?
I have not.
All right. Ha! Snap! Now I'm a little on the spot. Suddenly,
Oh.
that's the man I used to be. That was bad.
There's a shadow
hanging over me. Oh, I believe. And suddenly.
In yesterday.
I thought it was suddenly at that point. Why'd she have to go? I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yeah, well, it was what it was.
Nah, you're good. You're good. I like it.
Good try, Mary.
All right.
No Ryan Kinnell, but you know.
Okay. Let me try this real quick. It's. Oh.
I can hear it.
Oh, that was my. Let me. All right. All right. I think we got that right there. Ready? I think that's ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready for it. You guys ready?
If you're ready, come and get it. Nah.
All right, so this is my Fandom Menace Origins video essay. I've been working on this thing for literally like a month, and it's done. It's about 19 minutes, close to 19 minutes, I think. Let me see. Hold on. It's 18 minutes, 43 seconds.
You can't put the whole thing up. You can put it all off to the side if you want to.
Oh. Well, there we go. All right, so we're about to rock this thing. Let's do it.
I wanted to get into sort of another stage of life where I'm not in the film business anymore. It occurred to me one day that the perfect person to take over the company was just such a perfect fit. And I felt that I really wanted to put the company somewhere in a larger entity to protect it.
The main thing is to protect these characters, make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them, and that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
Hopefully it'll be an inspiring package of entertainment that it's always been well liked by other people.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. It's a statement that's synonymous with cinematic achievement, wonder, excitement, the brainchild of a man who, against all odds, allowed us all to feel like heroes. Star Wars. A film franchise that has stood the test of time, captivating audiences for over 40 years. The creation of George Lucas, Star Wars quickly became a worldwide pop culture phenomenon after the release of A New Hope in 1977. A story of fathers and sons, good versus evil, fate versus destiny. This hero's journey changed the way sci-fi film was received by the masses, and in doing so, Lucas became the father of a saga that would be passed down through generations. But while we all know about the astronomical success of Star Wars, it's also the trials and tribulations that both its creator and its fan base have endured that has followed the legacy of the fantasy franchise to this day. What started with the Phantom Menace and the backlash Lucas received for the childlike simplicity and narrative of the first prequel feature manifested itself into an organized movement by the fans that pushed Lucas towards bringing a level of maturity and seriousness to the intergalactic saga, keeping it consistent with the level of maturity and adventure seen in much of the extended universe lore that followed the original trilogy. Even with the complaints levied against subjective parts of the prequel trilogy, Star Wars fan base held its trust and its hopes in George Lucas and his ability to complete a fitting prequel story, bringing the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker full circle and solidifying the legacy of Star Wars into its galactic universe and stories, with which Lucas was solely responsible for creating.
Hello there.
December 18th, 2015 marked the return of Star Wars to theaters around the globe. With a level of hype that was not seen since the opening of The Phantom Menace, Disney held the world in its grip for an opening weekend that shattered worldwide box office records. With an opening weekend haul of over $500 million, it appeared as if Star Wars was back, and Disney was in the driver's seat of the largest film juggernaut in history. And while The Fandom Menace had its complaints about the copy and paste nature of The Force Awakens, and the apparent Mary Sue status its lead character Ray had fallen into, the film progressed enough of the story forward and created a fair amount of anticipation for the sequel of this new trilogy of Star Wars films. But all was not well in this galaxy far, far away, as one of the first actions made by Disney following their purchase of Lucasfilm, the company decanonized the entirety of the expanded universe. This was a move that left a very bad taste in the mouths of fans who invested decades of their lives in the stories and adventures that followed the Battle of Endor. Instead of finding a middle ground to satisfy the legions of fans in the Star Wars fandom, Lucasfilm CEO Kathleen Kennedy led the charge in a media-wide assault against the displeasure of those who were largely responsible in carrying the legacy of Star Wars since the return of the Jedi. In a seismic shift away from the goodwill towards the fans, Kennedy is quoted as saying the following.
Hi, I'm calling for General Hunt. This is Hux. You and your friends are doomed. We will wipe your filth from the galaxy. Okay, I'll hold.
Enter The Last Jedi, a film that, while visually stunning, was lamented by many of the fans for its lack of a coherent plot, failing to answer questions left by The Force Awakens. What's worse, it was a film that injected many social and political messages that were unnecessarily and heavy-handedly ushered in front of a movie audience behind the lead of director Rian Johnson. Backlash towards The Last Jedi was swift. Many viewed it as a complete misrepresentation of the values of Star Wars, mainly because of the treatment of its central character of the original trilogy, Luke Skywalker. To many, this was a Luke that was unrecognizable. This was a Luke that was a complete contrast to the ever-optimistic hero the audiences were left with following the return of the Jedi. This was a Luke that did not represent the vision of his creator, George Lucas. He bore none of the development from which the character was created both in the original trilogy and in the extended universe. It was so egregious that Mark Hamill himself vocally showed his displeasure on numerous occasions in the media marketing push leading up to the release of Episode 8. Needless to say, Disney forced his silence. The response to these criticisms were not what one would have expected from a multi-billion-dollar company. Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy resorted to insulting remarks towards millions within the Star Wars fan base, a tone-deaf and crucial error that resulted in a true reckoning between Disney brass and Star Wars fandom not seen before in the film industry. But one thing they didn't expect was that this fan base would retaliate, not only with their loud, deafening voice, but also with the dollars within their wallets. The very first box office flop in Star Wars history came by way of Solo, a Star Wars story. This marked what some have deemed the fall of the Star Wars brand, as this new generation of heroes had failed to garner the attention of this era's youth, leaving many to wonder, do people care about this new Star Wars, both cinematically and culturally? With the final chapter of the Skywalker saga coming in this December, time will soon tell. But there are those who are watching and documenting these important events in the lore of Star Wars and the film industry today. Reporters of the Fandom Menace who seek to spread the truth of what has happened to our beloved franchise. Authors like Stephen Walton, whose 5-volume narration of these events surrounding the Fandom Menace will coincide with the release of Episode 9. YouTube channels like Geeks and Gamers, Nerd Rock, World Class Bullshitters, Midnight's Edge, That Star Wars Girl, and many more. All vigilant voices for the people of the fandom, and all willing to fight tooth and nail against the fracturing of this brand with everything they have. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from those who are on the front lines in this battle for the soul of the Star Wars brand themselves.
Today, we're going to talk about the evil witch, the wicked witch of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. I don't like Kathleen Kennedy at this point. I don't like what she's done with Star Wars, and anybody with half a brain knows and sees exactly this anti-man, pro-female agenda she's been pushing with Star Wars since she became the president of Lucasfilm.
So in this movie, there are things that the characters say or do that, to me, just did not feel like Star Wars. I just feel sorry for the kids, because at least I grew up with Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars. I believe Star Wars films that were actually pretty good. Unfortunately, they're not getting the same kind of storytelling as we did.
It is not a secret that the advocates of social justice when it comes to comics are very dishonest people. They are leeches that exist to only hijack subcultures and fandom, and honestly, they do a great job of this.
The Last Jedi is a skillfully crafted, well-acted, technically brilliant disgrace. But at the heart of this film is a hideous cancer. It not only ruins The Last Jedi, but kills all hope of Star Wars ever being a unified and coherent franchise again.
The reason why I don't like The Last Jedi, I think don't like is too big of a point. I really despised it, and I'm offended as a fan that there was so much buildup, and that is what they provided, the plot. What was it? Because I'm really interested to know what the heck was the whole point of that movie.
The last few months post The Last Jedi have been a minefield of negativity and hatred spewed at the fans by those in charge. It's bad business. According to Jeff Bezos, the richest man on the planet and founder of Amazon, it's important to build a great experience customers will tell each other about. Word of mouth is very powerful. He's right, Word of mouth is very powerful. It's a pretty good album, too. Look at where we are now. Interest in Solo is lower than any Star Wars film in the franchise's history. It's not because people dislike the original characters. They came out in droves for The Force Awakens, and Luke Skywalker's return in The Last Jedi. It's because of how poorly the criticism has been handled by Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy says the films aren't for men. Ryan Johnson says we're not smart enough to get The Last Jedi. And J.J. Abrams says we're intimidated by women. No respect, no VIP treatment, no immediate action, and no solution. Only blame. You may say that Star Wars is just a kids' franchise, so that fans are being too critical and need to grow up. But you'd be wrong, because Star Wars isn't a kids' franchise. Kids' franchises aren't pushing sexual ideals, but Star Wars is. I'm sure you've seen this tweet from Jonathan Kasdan, the asshole son of Lawrence Kasdan. In it, he says, "Sorry to have brought identity/gender politics into... Nope, not sorry at all, because I think the galaxy George gave birth to in 77 is big enough for everyone. Straight, gay, black, white, brown, Twi'lek, Celestian, Wookiee, droid, and anything in between. Hashtag droid rights, hashtag we are sentient." Besides acting like a smug bitch, the entitled John Kasdan is missing his own point. Star Wars does have plenty of space for everyone, but Lando isn't the character that needs to be made an example of to prove how progressive the irrelevant son of a writer is.
Chris Chibnall's writing has been crap, and he and Stephen Moffat both basically admitted that they've run out of ideas. And what do hack writers do when they've run out of ideas? Destroy better people's ideas. And that's what they're going to do. Instead of going the route of, hey, let's let Jodie Whittaker be her own doctor, not better or worse than anybody else, just being another doctor in this grand story that we've loved so much. Nope, they're going to piss on other doctors and backstory to make her the bestest doctor ever. Does that sound familiar? It sounds familiar. How does it sound? Star Trek Discovery, Star Wars, Marvel Comics? Yep, sounds familiar. Star Wars was really successful because of Rey. No. It was Han and Leia.
The Kelly Marie Tran situation. So it was big news a few weeks ago that Kelly Marie Tran had deleted all the posts from her Instagram, and it became this co-opted as this big news about, oh my God, sexist racism and how terrible humans are and how Star Wars fans are all terrible, and let's bring up all times in the past we harass people and ruin their lives. I mean, it probably sucks to hear it. It probably sucks to read that stuff. I'm sure it does. I'm sure that there was, and I'm sure there were a lot of people, like they always do, taking things out on her that are not her fault. There was nothing wrong with her performance. There was a lot wrong with the character that was written for her, but she didn't choose the hair, the makeup, the character, the lines. She didn't choose any of that. She just went on. She got a job, which was a fantastic job as an actor to get. And let's put it out there right now, guys. If I was offered a role in a Disney Star Wars movie, fuck integrity. I'm taking that role. I need to live. I need to eat. And I actually respect the fact that she didn't come out and make it an issue for herself, right? She didn't come out and sit there and be like, you know, I'm doing it because of this, and fuck all you people. In fact, she's been, of the people involved, interestingly enough, a minority, right? A minority who has not been one of the people going calling out fans for being racist and terrible and whatnot, you know, the way that everyone else is. If she deleted her post on Instagram and she didn't make a statement about it, it's because she wants to step back. She wants to be less in the limelight and less, you know, a thing. So all the fucking SJWs getting on board and making it their cause and running around with pitchforks and shit like that, you're making it worse.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Fandom Menace is here to stay. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to Geeks and Gamers. Subscribe to the Observant Lyman Uche Waneri. Thank you very much for watching this Fandom Menace Origins video essay, and we will catch you on the next video. Peace.
There it is.
There you have it.
That was quite an undertaking, Uche.
Yeah, that took
That's like a thesis level production there. You just got your doctorate in Geeks and Gamers.
yeah.
That stuff takes forever to make.
Your mic.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. You not hear me?
No, Mary.
Oh.
Mary.
Yeah, I think Mary's mic is muted.
I'm trying to be double. So I muted myself because I didn't want to like.
She double wrapped it. She double wrapped it.
Yeah, wrap your sapper before you tap her. No, like I remember so much of that stuff. It sort of hit me in the feels here and there because, yeah, man, we've come so far since then, and you know, whether they like to admit it or not, we've made a lot of headway. Things do look better than they did, say, a year ago or so. Like Solo came out and it was an entire flop. You know, we've made progress. They are acknowledging us. They can't ignore that we exist.
Yeah, and you're seeing it in the numbers too. Like you said, like Solo flopped. Their merchandise sales have dropped substantially.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making course corrections left and right. And just so everybody knows, the sound will be perfect when it gets uploaded on Geeks and Gamers. That's going to happen actually right now. I'm uploading it right now to Jeremy, so he'll have that up before too long, maybe tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm not sure. Depends on how.
Probably next couple hours.
Yeah. So it's going to be, you know, more. For everybody who, you know, I know the sound probably wasn't the greatest on here, but once it gets put up on the channel, you guys will be able to experience it full in its full glory. But yeah, it took forever to make it. Took forever, but
it looks like it.
You know, I wanted to take my time with it. I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to put any pressure on myself to get it out as quick as I could. I wanted to, you know, go through it. I went through the thing like literally for a month, just slowly putting parts of it together, slowly.
Labor of love.
I got parts of every single. I have every one of the movies on my computer, so you know I had to cut up each and every one of them, and then I also kind of timed them to go with the background with the music. So
Mahler on us. If you turn into Mahler, we'll never get any content out of you.
I know, right? Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I did it in a way that represented how I felt and how I know most people feel about the Star Wars situation as it stands now. So, you know, that for me was something. I told Jeremy I wanted to do it like a while,
like a month ago, yeah.
A month ago. And I just started slowly and, you know, just kind of let it build up, just kind of felt it out. I had no idea how I was going to structure it. I just started. Once I started getting a feel for where I wanted it to go. Big shout out to Stephen Walton. He actually gave me all the clips that I used from various content creators who were in it towards the end. And he had a lot of, he gave me a lot of key points about where the Fandom Menace started, how it kind of evolved from just Star Wars to, not just Star Wars, but every one of the major geek culture, media shows, movies, what have you. But I had a blast making it. I knew that, I was hyped up making it, and I felt good about it. So I'm glad that you guys, got to see it.
You can sense the passion in it, behind it, because of how methodical you walked everybody through the timeline of what's going on. And you picked some of the most perfect quotes, because man, did my blood boil when I was reading some of those things. It just doesn't go away, that feeling of betrayal that, George said that he felt like, he didn't say anything about it, but we all kind of know.
It was kind of perfect timing with that Bob Iger news coming out. That was perfect for adding to it, because it gave validation to everything that all of us felt like you're betraying George Lucas' vision.
It's not. Well, so like for me, for someone who was on this train, this anti-Disney Star Wars train since before Force Awakens even came out, right? I heard George Lucas's white slavers comment. I saw this interview with Stephen Colbert where he said they're not using my stories, right? I saw all that, and I was already bitter against it from my, expanded universe experience when they decided to throw that away. So, yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience for me, because I was mad then, right? I was mad then, and then I was kind of apathetic towards. I just didn't care about Star Wars until everybody else started getting mad at it, like I had been before. When The Last Jedi was ramping up.
Ryan was Fandom Menace before it was cool, guys.
Basically. Yeah. Basically.
I knew about the Fandom Menace. I didn't really dive into understand it until probably the last year or two. And then I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's how I felt. I didn't know that meant I was part of the Fandom Menace, but I definitely, didn't feel I felt like Star Wars was kind of it was being broken. They were disrespecting it, and just, like George Lucas said, they didn't bring anything new to the table with Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And then
Star Wars.
And then they gave Rian Johnson full reign to do whatever the hell he wanted, and he didn't do anything that even remotely resembled Star Wars storytelling. It was just random scenes, a random storyline. I mean, what was he trying to do? It didn't make any sense to me. And then I saw Mahler's critiques on it, and I was like, yes.
I can't wait till Mahler eventually finishes his Force Awakens critique in 2030.
Right?
Yeah, because I didn't like that movie. It wasn't Star Wars to me. It wasn't Star Wars. There were so many issues with it, and everyone was just blown away by the fact that it was Star Wars. That's all they cared about.
I was.
Yeah, I didn't understand for it either. I was like, this isn't. It's just kind of a copy and paste of
A New Hope. Yeah.
At least the worlds felt. You felt nostalgia in the worlds created by the prequel series, but yeah, I didn't get that here, and it's unfortunate, because it's like they took a lot of the concepts. They took like they had this sure mathematical equation of what equals this a George Lucas Star Wars film, and they just took 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just put these. But they didn't give any depth to any of the characters, and it's like a shell of a character, and then the world just didn't feel quite developed. The worlds did not feel quite developed.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they just replaced Tatooine with what was it?
Jakku.
Yeah.
It's like, they look so visually similar. I mean, you have
on Tatooine.
It should be. It made me really sad.
No, and a lot of people they were stunned by it visually. And look, at least you can give J.J. Abrams this much credit that he did leave some threads of storytelling available. There was something there to be done with it. And even I hated The Force Awakens. I really did. I came out of that theater mad, right? Like my brother was like, "Can you calm down?" And I was like, "No, it was not Star Wars," right? I came out of that theater mad. But over the course of the time between when that was released and Rogue One had come out and I'd had time to sort of relax a little bit, I was willing to hope for something. And then The Last Jedi, my heart springs into action. They're gonna do the Ashley and the Bogan. Oh my god, it's gonna be like Grey Jedi. I was so excited, right? Like, okay, there's somewhere to go with this, right? But you crushed any hope anyone could, because I wanted to love it. It's not like I didn't want to embrace this stuff. Most of us wanted to love it, and maybe that's why so many people were willing to embrace The Force Awakens when it first came out, was because they wanted to love it so badly, and there was something there at least. But at the end of the day,
first Star Wars movie in what, 12 years?
Yeah.
That's why people loved it, just because of that.
Well, and there's so much animosity around the prequels, and it was sort of, it's good, it's bad, it's fine. It was sort of this, it was divisive, can you remember when the divisiveness was just the prequels level, so it felt like it had been divisive, and we looked forward to something that we could all sort of unify over. Mm-hmm. And then we wound up with something that was good enough for people to say, okay, let's just be happy there aren't midichlorians, right? And then you move forward and you wind up at The Last Jedi, and there's no defending The Force Awakens after The Last Jedi, because
you've obviously never read Darth Plagueis, or else you'd be okay with midichlorians. Just saying.
I'm sorry, I'm working on no longer being a normie, Ryan, okay? Haven't you infected me enough?
I thought the midichlorians was a good concept that, because of the backlash, he didn't follow it up in the following movies. I think if he would have explored it and went a little bit deeper and maybe kind of, touched a little bit from what the lore had in the EU, then it would have been fine. I feel like Attack of the Clones was just, the scripting was bad in it. I felt like it didn't. The last 20 minutes were good, but for the majority of the movie, it just wasn't a script. He tried to make a love story, and it kind of fell apart because there wasn't much a dialogue to run with, and there wasn't enough character. You can't explain how has a relationship with somebody who, by all notions, she should be like 12 years older than.
Well, not only that, you have to give him some measure of charm in order for a woman to fall for him. I'm sorry, but he murdered an entire village, and she's like, "Oh,
that was kind of badass."
So you back away slowly. You call your mom, and she's like, "You got to get me out of here."
What are you talking about? His mom just got enslaved, raped, and murdered. What are you talking about?
No woman falls in love with a guy who slaughters a village, and any woman who makes excuses for him doing that clearly has no self-respect. So I'm
not just the men, but the women and the children too. They're animals.
I'll be the most powerful
guy ever. Like animals.
You're breaking my heart.
Why eat them?
You're breaking my heart.
I mean, if you think about that scene, now when I sit here thinking about it, it was, now
Anakin did nothing wrong.
It was a little bit. It was powerful. It was powerful. It's just that the dialogue, the script, like Padme's responses to his lashing out were just so basic and with no depth. And that's where I was like, okay, you killed it. He's trying to be, he's vulnerable. If you look at Anakin's life, he was a slave his entire childhood. He's brought into the Jedi temple and they start training him as a Jedi. Well, what are the Jedi? The Jedi have the personalities of wooden planks. So they're
the Brie Larsons of the galaxy.
Yeah, they're tightly wound and very and lacking of a lot of emotion. So yeah, this is a guy who's trying to balance, maintaining that stoic Jedi behavior. But deep down, he's really like an emotional wreck. Like he's been an emotional wreck. And how do you convey that when you're, awkwardly, I feel like is the most accurate way to describe how he would lash out is in a very awkward, explosive kind of way, which he kind of did. He kind of did do that.
It was very awkward. I'll give him that.
I think Attack of the Clones actually had some like great moments. Like for instance, the scene where they're chasing Zam, like who just tried to assassinate Padme. Right when Obi-Wan jumps out the window, that whole chase scene. I think there's some great moments, but then right you land and it's this whole like, you know, Hayden Christensen and and Obi-Wan going, "This weapon is your life." "Yes, Master. I know, Master. I'm sorry, Master.
It was such a
I don't
weird
like to disappoint you, Master." It's just
I think, and again, that's where the script kind of failed it. Like, if they would have made him a little bit more rebellious towards Obi-Wan, and you can see it coming from the start, like sparks of rage, like maybe him rolling his eyes behind Obi-Wan's back, like maybe him, shouting out and barking back at Obi-Wan.
I think they relied too much on the Count Dooku scene where he, when he put him out, the hesitation and then the so I feel like that wasn't enough for me.
He sort of did though, like there in the beginning, whenever Padme's there and they're just about to meet her or whatever, and he's like, "Why?" He sort of has this back and forth with Obi-Wan there. Now, I would grant you that it wasn't quite enough, but there was some of it. I'm not saying it wasn't established. Yeah. Look, I'm not a prequel defender, but I recognize that it does a decent job telling the story. It's just there are parts that don't work.
Yeah.
We can appreciate the storytelling here and now, for sure, compared to,
oh my God.
And then you look at Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith, was I feel like was, leaps and bounds better than the previous two prequels, just because it took itself a little bit more seriously and they kind of upped the stakes and they stuck with that more mature, a little bit darker of a theme that worked, because that's what Anakin always was a little bit darker than the Jedi were comfortable with. And there was a bit of mistrust there. And if you read the novelization, the novelization is even way better than the movie. Like,
it's infinitely better.
Goes even deeper.
For whatever problems were with the romance in the
dragon.
Like, I believed the romance in Revenge of the Sith, because you have Padme running up to Annie and she's like, "What are we gonna do?" Like there's panic. I believe them there. I really do believe the relationship in Revenge of the Sith far more than I ever did in Attack of the Clones. So while the basis in the ground, the very ground basic level for where they began their relationship, I do believe it in Revenge of the Sith. The dialogue is much less cringy, and the chemistry between the two is far better on screen. So
because they're not on screen as much.
And I mean, and again, like
that actually is maybe the cringiest moment. So love has blinded you.
Okay, so that's bad. But like that moment where he looks at her and he's like, "This is a happy day." My heart filled up with joy in that moment, because I believed him. I believed he was happy to be a father, that he loved her and that he wanted her to have his children. So that was a particularly, I would even describe it as powerful for me in that moment, because I believed their love story at that moment.
Yeah,
and I cried when he choked Padme.
And then I feel like, for me in the movie, aside from, I feel like the most powerful part of Revenge of the Sith, just from a dramatic standpoint, was when Obi-Wan visited Padme after the Jedi Temple. That scene by itself was probably the best acted scene of the entire prequel to me, because Obi-Wan walks in there and Obi-Wan is upset that he's having to, he's basically looking for Anakin to kill him, and he's trying not to convey that to Padme, but she reads it, and when down, she looks at him and she says, "You're going to kill him, aren't you?" And he doesn't want to answer, but he knows, fuck yeah, I got to kill this motherfucker. He's tripping. And just see what he did to the temple.
Yeah, they definitely had great moments. There's, I'll still say one of my hands down favorite moments of the entirety of all of the Star Wars films has to be when Qui-Gon and Darth Maul are doing their little dance through the laser wall. Just seeing him do his Jedi meditation while Darth Maul's pacing back and forth, it gives me shivers just thinking about it here and now. I love everything you can totally. It's so complex and so
that
just
Sith rage, that
feel
rage that he's feeling, and he's just prowling back and forth, and then that Jedi calm, Qui-Gon sitting there meditating, trying to steady himself because he knows this is a life or death battle. So clear your mind, and you could tell that Qui-Gon was getting tired. It's the older Qui-Gon. He's getting a little bit tired, and Darth Maul is, this is the first time that anyone's fought or seen a Sith in thousands of years. So this is a monumental moment in the history of the Jedi, in the history of the Republic. And, he has to come out on top or he's going to die.
Yeah.
Darth Maul, ends up winning that. And then you see the emotion from Obi-Wan. And
I love how he looks at Obi-Wan right after too, just to revel in the emotion that he knows he's going to get from him. It was so well done, and those moments are what make me still love the
those are the things that make me love the prequel.
It was kind of weird at a lot of points, but I appreciate it.
Well, and you can even sort of feel the sort of draw from the dark side that Obi-Wan has in that moment. You can understand where he's coming from. You can see him, it is all he can do. Hold it together in that moment. And you can see that he is not okay, that he is lingering, he is sort of teetering on that dark side and is content in the moment to draw from it. And you can feel it. It's palpable. Ewan McGregor does a fantastic job in that scene. I could not have been more impressed with him. He really is just a top-notch actor. I really do love him.
It was absolutely great. Again, like we're all saying, that was one of those moments where you look back at the prequels and you're like, now I get it. Now as a more mature person, understanding the stakes, because back then I remember I saw the Phantom Menace on opening night, and I was what? I was like 15, 16, 17, something like that. So even, back then, kind of in still of that childlike mind, I'm looking at it wanting to see, more action, but not really understanding the political side of the story, the warrior side of the story with the Jedi and all the things that are, getting put in place for the trilogy to move forward. And that battle, as amazing as it was then, now looking back at it, I have even a deeper appreciation because the stakes, everything that wasn't said that you could feel from those moments is what makes it that much better.
Yeah.
Hey, Uche, don't kill me, man. I just think the world of you, and I'm so pleased as punch to be on your stream with you, but it is 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we're about to bring this thing to an end. I just wanted to get that video out there so y'all can see it, and it's going to be up on the channel any minute now, I'm sure, because I already got it to Jeremy and to Josiah. So everybody look out for that. Should be coming up here any minute. And I had a great time. I appreciate you guys being on the stream. Candace, Mary, it was awesome. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Ryan, you're all right.
Oh, come on. Uche is where's my BVS
suit? The arms tonight, Uche. Be appreciative.
Yeah, he got those water pistols out. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Well, I'm going for that. I'm going for that tone, Uche.
Hey,
you
see that arm? You don't want to see tone, boy.
Let's see it. Bust it out.
I got a long sleeve shirt on. That's impossible. Unless I just squeeze harder.
Just rip it off.
Don't break your shirt, Uche.
Uche's about to be monetized. You can afford another one. Rip it off.
No.
Yeah, I want to know where you're at now.
I like this shirt. I'm just going to keep it.
Yeah, it won't update. It takes YouTube about 24 to 48 hours to process a big stream like this. So
hopefully you're there or super close.
It's already it's not uploaded as we go.
No, typically it takes a little bit of time for it to register.
Oh, to register the hours, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll be right there. I think this will be right close to it because it's almost 3 hours, and yeah, we were at around 70 at the height of the stream. So we'll see how it gets us on that. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and bring this thing to an end. Let me see here. Oh, Brian, what's going on, man? I see you. Jaguar fan right there. Yeah.
Little Minshew magic going on in Jacksonville.
Hey, I'm going up to Jacksonville tomorrow. We got the 25th anniversary alumni game. They got me a hotel from Friday to Monday. Gonna go to the gala. Got my suit already, nice and dry clean. Gonna be nice and chopped up, ready for that one. But
nice,
yeah,
man.
I'm gonna run into some Jags fans who've been watching the videos. So, but yeah, guys, I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. And we're gonna go ahead and bring this thing to an end. Everybody in the chat, love you guys. Appreciate y'all. And we will see y'all on the next live broadcast on the next Money Bag Telethon.
All right, see you guys. Have a good night.
Yep. All right.